you could do.
Why would you ever want to do that?
I mean, you probably wouldn't.
It's 3 tablespoons to a quarter cup. And 2 cups to a pint.
Ooh, okay, so we're live.
Oh.
Just FYI.
Yay, hello,
Okay,
metric
it's
system.
3 tablespoons.
I'm putting
to a
Jerusha
quarter
as
cup.
raging. Constant raging.
Can we see everything?
Do you have a frightened one? Because I feel like that's what Jerusha's constant
Oh, yeah.
status
Oh, I think that's fair. He should just
I do.
constantly.
I got it.
Unable to approach enemies.
I think that's completely fair.
Can we see it?
I'm checking.
Yeah, and I'm also trying to figure out spacing.
Oh, no, that's old.
Actually showed us a really old photo of orchid at a petrified forest.
No, that's old. We must be talking about poop.
3.
I hate you.
Okay.
I did listen to last week's episode today, so I know what happened. So I'll be able to correct any mistakes that are made in the recap.
I did a good recap last time.
It took like 45 minutes.
I was
It better
also
be fucking
cooking.
good.
It was thorough.
It was very thorough. So yeah, so we can roll the 100s for recaps and food since
Oh,
we're
yeah, we
waiting
can.
on Stephanie.
Hey,
Does everybody have the dice they need?
I don't have a D100,
Chefs? Okay, we'll roll 2d10.
but that only equal 20.
No, you're done. Why are you being this way, Brad? You're better than this.
The rage shaver product thing.
Oh, I got 88. Beat that. Dum-dums.
I hope everyone
I got 75.
83.
You did beat that.
96.
I'm
She
gonna roll
also
a 4
beat
now.
that.
I rolled for both of them and it was great.
It was Stephanie who got the...
Stephanie's
Jonathan
good.
got an 83, Stephanie got a 96.
Hey!
54.
Okay. Brad's it.
No.
18. Alright,
No
so...
inspiration. No.
Stephanie, you're the chef, or the cook, or the food decider for next week, and then Bradley, you shall do the recap.
Okay, I gotta find the food.
Is it echoing? Or is that someone's phone?
Your dice are magic. 98.
Oh, that's a good one.
Probably like Z.
It was a 93
Zambia.
before.
It's gonna be like alien food from the planet Pluto.
Yemen.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, man.
Yemen.
Yemen.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephanie, you're cooking next week.
Is that also just
Yemen.
yak products?
Yemeni? It has
Yemen.
an
Yemeni.
Yemeni.
Yemen.
Yemeni?
Yeah.
What is 99 and 100 then? What are those
100 is player's choice.
Oh, what's 99?
We've already gotten that one before, right?
Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe.
Or is
Zimbabwe.
100 like? Can we get that multiple times?
Yeah, we can get that whole time. Because then you
Okay.
just cross out one.
Okay. All right. So
Oh,
Yemeni.
So you like choose something off of the chart.
I don't think you have to, though.
Yeah,
Or
just
rolling
something
damage.
out of the card.
Yeah. I think
If you if you get 100 on the first roll or second roll, you can decide.
So I like Yemeni. Is it like it's like Middle Eastern, right?
Yeah. So
The
the
meat,
national
rice.
dish of Yemen is a brown stew that often contains lamb or chicken meat,
Okay.
Stew of the world.
along with
Stew.
rice, tomato, potatoes, vegetables, and scrambled eggs.
You said rice, tomato, potatoes, beans, greens,
And scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs.
Chicken. Chicken.
Um,
I mean it.
Ooh, here's a dessert. It's mashed bananas and bread enriched with butter, cream, spices, honey, and dates.
Okay.
Okay.
We have
that's-
dates.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything.
Moist pasty dough consisting of flour, water, yogurt, salt, and sunflower oil that you put chicken broth on top of.
Is it for dessert?
No, that's a separate dish.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Ooh, this is a spiced coffee.
Honestly, the mashed banana thing sounds sort of nightmarish. But that's only because I don't like bananas, and I don't like them because they're squishy and slimy.
It might also
like,
basically be a
in a
banana
bread?
pancake.
That was
Oh, okay, that might be
I feel
alright.
like that's what it is.
That might be alright. I can handle that.
Yeah, so this is a spiced coffee with ginger, sugar,
That.
and
I
cinnamon.
want that.
Great.
I want that. We'll eat that for dinner. Coffee. We'll have that.
Lamb or chicken broth soup.
You gave us carrots before.
This is just a giant hunk of meat sitting on rice.
Into it.
Ooh, stuffed fried savory pancakes.
Oh, I like
That's
stuffed
on
fried
the
savory
secret one,
pancakes.
Secret.
How could you not like those? I asked you.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know that you like it. It could have something sneaky in it, like cottage cheese.
I like
It's
cottage
got, okay, so ground meat, eggs, garlic, onions, pepper, curry, and ghee stuffed in a roti.
Ghee
like
is very
pancake.
good,
But I
and
thought
also
you were
that
gonna say-
sounds tasty.
I heard geese, and I was like,
I used to.
that's a weird last
Okay,
ingredient.
so we'll take a picture of that one.
Yeah.
This is also just chicken on rice. And is also apparently the national dish of Yemen.
Okay, so yeah.
So the national dish of Yemen is chicken and rice,
Or lamb.
or lamb stew. Okay. Yeah, it really is food of the world, though. Real
Because
talk.
stew is nice and easy.
I was gonna
Everyone-
say.
Oh, interesting. No, it's more like a porridge bread pudding situation. That's the banana thing.
Very curious.
Yeah.
The banana.
I'm not opposed to bread
It's-
pudding
it's-
with banana,
Kind of like it's yogurt parfait. That's
It does a little bit.
but it's baked.
Any of our viewers have any suggestions?
How many viewers
Put
do
it
we
in
have?
the comments.
Probably 30.
30?
Many viewers.
30? You don't have 30. Do we?
I'm rounding up to the nearest 30.
Oh. So 0. Or is it 1? Is Caleb on there?
I'm on.
Oh, you are.
I had to check on Yemeni food.
I was like, Caleb's on?
My thing says we have 0 viewers though.
I'm
That's
viewing,
bad.
so that's a lie.
That's amazing.
I mean, so am I.
So last week we ate food, jumped in a hole,
No, you gotta
walked
give
through
us
a
more
hole.
than
No,
that.
walked
That's not clear. It's factually accurate, but it's lacking something, Brad.
detail.
Yeah, it's lacking detail for me, so I'm gonna need you to actually give it your
It
all.
lacks engine oil.
A what?
Or
Motor oil.
motor oil.
Motor oil. Even
That's
though I
what
have
I
no motor.
So we found is it a secret entrance, or what was to the food chamber?
I mean, it wasn't really secret. You guys just were able to find a cleft in the wall and sneak, and not sneak, but
A
you just got
cleft
in.
in the wall.
Cleft.
A cleft.
A cleft.
It was a small hole
I believe cleft
Through
was
which-
the term.
It was
Through
It
which
was.
Stool was able to
Squeeze.
squeeze
through which
himself.
Stool was able to squeeze. Yes.
through the cleft.
Once
Through the cleft,
sufficiently
indeed.
lubricated.
Then there's a big table and a fireplace and a cozy chair, and whenever anyone walked in, food of their pickings appeared.
Accurate.
Lady Peregrine was the last one to enter, and it was very glitchy on what it picked for her. So then Lady Peregrine and Leonora had some secret talk. I don't remember what it was about, which is good, because I didn't hear it.
That's true. Nobody heard the secret talk between Lady Peregrine and Leonora because I believe
Kimber was
Kimber
reading
Kimber
a
was reading
bedtime
a book.
story
to Jerish, who was weeping
It was very
silently.
sad.
He was distraught. He needed
About-
some comfort.
About the gruel that the room gave him that was his favorite.
He was sad because it was making him remember, and that was upsetting to him.
And I
Remember
gave him
the
cake.
gruel.
I gave him a cake that was decorated,
was
remember?
beautiful,
and he was
yeah.
very touched.
And he was very touched. It was the nicest thing anyone has ever done for him.
Maybe
No.
the
Which
book
is which means
brown.
that his adopted father kind of
So
sucks.
what's is that the last color in there?
Oh.
Then we had 3 different options and paths and I forgot which one we took.
Oh,
When
there
was
was
the
a
duck?
duck.
When was the
Oh,
duck?
Oh,
Yeah.
The duck was after the feast room, yeah.
After the feast. We got to this giant room that had a duck and a pond and a door with a lever. And we talked to the duck. The duck quacked back at us.
You guys did take an hour and a half to speak to the duck. Like real time.
I feel like probably in game too, not gonna lie.
Yeah, you guys spent a pretty good long while investigating.
We were convinced that that was significant. Little.
The duck said wish, and then we wished that we would make it. We were in safe travels to
That was the exact wording.
Stool's home,
Mm-hmm.
which we're not to his home yet.
So sad about you.
But you guys know the ducks. You didn't say. I think you said Stool's fungal area or something like that because you
Stool's fungal home.
because you guys were trying to be clever, and so
We were trying to be clearer, so you couldn't twist our words.
and yet you guys arrived at his fungal home and felt the duck's power fade. I'm sure I
We
said.
were to his fungal home though.
You're to like the fungal cavern where he was born. Not like the exact cave, but the area, the general area.
So then
His fungal region.
Yeah, that-
That just sounds bad.
there was a.
Bad.
Then we went through the door, and there was a giant hole in the wall, toilet. I guess more like an outhouse. It didn't have water, so.
what? Wait, which thing?
Where we jumped in the pit,
Oh yeah. It had water at the bottom, just a little bit of water.
so like an outhouse.
A puddle. Sure, why not?
Our vendor just ran and jumped because he trust the duck.
Oh,
What?
She did scream
there's
that.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
What?
one of the things is in the way.
Forget.
What is it? Oh,
I'm not sure how.
What?
I mean, it doesn't interfere. It
I
just
don't
means
like it.
we can't see the food.
Then Stool went after
let me
our
see.
vendor because he just jumped.
Mine's really slow.
Said trust the duck and took a bunch of damage.
But he didn't die.
Didn't die.
The latest words were
Then-
I trust the duck.
Yes, trust the duck.
Trust the dog.
Kimberlite took 2 other people down, and Leonora turned into a gas.
Poor Jerusha fell.
He
Oh,
did.
yeah.
He did fall.
Kemper got distracted and Jerusha slipped.
Then we got to an area where we had an option between a door with a dragon and a door with a thieves guild. We picked the thieves guild.
Yeah.
Then we got to a room that had some magical force that our vendor went through, and then Stool went through and lost his spells
And
and took some damage,
all of the damage
but one,
but one because the duck.
the duck. Then everyone else used their spells to heal, and then next entrance we went through was the cavern of Stool's home, fungal village.
His fungal region.
His fungal region. That sounds wrong.
You started it.
Fungal. We didn't say region. We definitely did not say
We
region.
definitely said home or
Yes.
homeland.
You are the one who said region.
No, Stephanie. Actually, I'll give credit where credit is due.
Wait, what?
No,
You
we're,
said region. You
because
said
we are
fungal region.
only in the fungal region, we are not yet in Stool's fungal home.
No, you are in the area where Stool was born, which there's a lot of leeway in home.
Not to Stool. Home is here.
Oh, great.
It's a good thing the duck didn't interpret it that way, because otherwise she would have died.
No, I would have just been knocked out.
Oh, you're
All
right,
of us
sorry, you would have gone to
teleported.
-5.
Yeah, so that's not a big deal.
If any of us teleported, if all of us teleported into your heart,
We wish to teleport safely in the Stool's fungal home. God, that would have been so violent and tragic.
always where the heart is. Stool explodes.
Blood clot.
I cut these big so you can pick them out.
Thank you. I want to try this.
Any more salt or pepper?
Hmm.
Oh no.
Anything you remember, chat, from last week?
Chat.
Chat.
The chat has a mushroom. And that's all.
Oh, let me see what my mother said. Sorry.
About what?
About the campaign?
Is your mother watching?
Is she watching?
No, I wish.
Is she proud of you?
We're not gonna tell my mother about it because she might watch.
I would love it if your mother watched us.
She
That would be so awesome.
Well, she was drinking
She
wine.
wouldn't get it.
She wouldn't, but it doesn't matter.
Well, there's no really 0% chance my mother would ever watch this.
I did tell my LA's about
Do you want them to know this about you?
it.
Do you want them to know this about you?
Learning assistants are fine. It's the regular students.
You just put it on your board.
Yeah.
Twitch,
Yeah, seriously.
stealthy bar.
Extra credit.
Extra credit.
Extra credit to watch our stream.
And listen
Don't
to
even
your
wa-
professor talk about the Blades of Lust trilogy.
Yeah.
Really?
Pretending to be a female.
Oh
I really feel like.
yes.
I really feel
Extra
like
credit
someone would get
quiz.
fired. Extra credit.
Who wrote the Blades of Lust?
Extra credit. Who remembers what Kimber did this past week? She screamed a lot.
She did yell a lot.
Who is your favorite character? Anything but Kimberly is wrong.
Okay.
Why are you guys so mean to Jared? Fail!
We're so nice to
Super
him.
nice to him. We're giving him his heart's desire. He just
Oh,
doesn't have
then,
to use
He just doesn't know it
we
yet.
also informed Jarish's daddy
Oh yeah. I
about.
You used 2 of your 5th level spells to cast Dream and contact the dad.
had to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I mean,
What else was I gonna do? And I also
not that.
I went after fuck too.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Somewhere a million miles
Who
away.
is Kimberly's
screaming.
arch enemy?
Apparently it's Fuck.
That's gonna be the one-off. Kimber's pursuit of fuck.
Oh, Steph, I told them before you got here. Oh, I'm sorry, Mer. That if Brad and Sarah needed to take a hiatus, I wouldn't mind running a one-off for you guys
About
to do
Kimber's
some stuff.
pursuit of fuck.
in the same, yeah, in the same,
In the
like,
same universe.
in the same universe and
Or it's
campaign to.
Stephanie wants a DM.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, she's the only one that has it yet.
Yeah.
You know what you could do.
Yeah, but
What is it? Oh, I want to know. What's the concept? Tell me everything.
it's
I'm building characters right now, even though I'm not there.
I've already built one. Are we level 10? Because I have the perfect thing.
No, it was copy.
Level 0.
It was making a campaign out of an anime show.
We've
What
been,
show?
We've been watching Inuyasha, and it's literally just a D&D campaign.
It
Oh.
seriously is.
Like 100%.
More about it. Oh,
See? You can DM Stephanie.
Here.
I'm gonna multi-class.
What would you multi-class?
At level 2?
Everything.
Oh,
Barbarian, sorcerer.
my.
Be a strength wizard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I wasn't
Feel free to,
expecting it
like-
to be that thick.
Feel free to taste it and see if the rice is
I'm
done.
totally fine. Next thing I do is going to be a tavern brawler improvised weapon fighter.
Exclusively?
Uh-huh.
That is going to be impossible to play.
I'm gonna do it.
You
I still kinda
are
want
designing characters that are literally.
It wouldn't necessarily. I mean, she can tavern brawl and go outside and pick up a sharp rock. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but like, I think an improvised weapon, even if you take the feat, can only be like 1d4. Or is
The
it like a
DM
class?
decides
DM
what
choice.
weapon it most closely resembles, and it takes on that damage.
Oh, for what? For the feet? Is that the feet? Really?
Yeah.
So like,
So like if you wanted to use a chair leg as a club, it would get.
I
It
thought
would
the
get
tavern
club
brawler's
damage.
feet was.
I think that's how a lot of improvised weapons work. Is you decide what like, unless you're like picking up a person and swinging them or something like, or like hitting somebody with a chicken.
It's okay. It's unarmed strikes to do D4, which is greater than I guess what they were before.
I just want to play a character that then, if you do that, just like 20 strength and just carry a giant rock. And each time just throw this rock at someone. Just carry this giant, or like log and whoa. Play a Goliath that just, cause they can carry one extra.
I love that. I still want to play a masser one day, Will.
I think that would be fun.
We could do an
We should
entire
do a one-off.
campaign of just like
Random.
really big fighters who throw things.
Ridiculously beefy
And
dudes.
all of the creatures that you will face spray acid from a range of 50 feet. Exclusively.
Water genasi have resistance to acid.
Great.
Not all our characters can be brothers. Or sisters.
A family.
A family.
It would be a true family D&D campaign at that point. Okay, so if you guys want to
Mine's a dirt farmer, so we can all be dirt farmers together.
You have
We
this
could be
character.
cousins.
Do you have the character sheet already made?
No, but I do have a mini maid. She's a frying pan.
Mine will be a beet farmer.
That's basically dirt, so.
I
You
love
pick
it.
the rocks out of your dirt farm and collect them.
Okay,
Just
so
have a sack.
we can start whenever y'all feel like it. I don't want to start until our cooks are ready.
I'm picturing that my improvised weapon just being a sack of rocks and swinging it around in circles.
A bag of holding of rocks.
That,
No, because in an extra dimensional space it would be as heavy.
yeah, you wouldn't have any weight.
Oh,
You would have unlimited rocks to throw, probably.
No, not throw. I'm just gonna pick a sack of
This is still getting up to temperature and then
Be a
we'll put
giant
these two in.
slit.
And it just said to go until they're like golden brown, so I don't know if that.
Wow, it's so LGBT friendly. LGBTQIA plus.
To grab like ice cream.
It's like this, right? Well,
What?
Let's do it when.
What's the eye?
What's the eye?
intersects.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys are kind of like.
like on an edge.
Anybody that's played Skyrim should think of Blackreach when I'm describing this place.
Oh.
Like giant, really tall, glowy mushrooms.
I hate that.
Do we wake up in a wagon?
There's a bit more of a lip there on the outside of the door, but to either side, there's a really thin ledge going down.
Jump!
All of you are aware that the duck's protection is gone.
Amber can
Could we
just
roll
fly
for
us
that?
down one by one.
What? No, you can't roll for it.
Roll to see if
yeah.
you believe or not?
I mean, you can roll to see if you believe, but like, I told all of you at the end of last time that you heard the duck like go.
Clap your hands if you believe.
But just because it went
Like,
wah,
Kimber,
you're just
then-
flying.
And then
Yeah.
like it was like a wah accompanied with like a fading glow.
I'm still trusting the duck.
All right, well, that's
Anyone
your.
else trust the duck?
I will fly down whomever does not trust the duck.
It's about 500 feet down.
I don't
Wait,
know that.
you trust the duck?
Yeah, but I
That
felt
was
the
odd.
duck's protection wear off. And last time it kind of hurt when I crunched on the bottom.
You
I
did
feel
crunch.
like the only one who won't be okay with that is Jerusha because you dropped him last
I
time.
will jump.
You can fly them one by one, but you're gonna have to make dex saves
I jump.
for everybody, or like strength saves or something to make sure you can carry them. Last time you got a 17 and was able to carry one person.
Yeah, so if he carries us one at a time.
Yeah,
One
but
at a time.
you'd have to get higher than.
We
When
can
I do
tie
featherfall,
ourselves to you.
can I like go at a diagonal?
Well, I mean,
featherfall?
like,
I'm gonna. What
this.
if we make this rope that I have into like a front harness and just strap us onto your front?
Again,
like
you
baby.
can't do it all at once.
No, we'll go one at a
One at
time.
a time.
Like, I shouldn't have made that a cannon thing. Brad, you can jump down and fall gently. You
Do I?
kind of like,
Do I go like diagonal, kind of like in Super Mario when you jump up and
you're kind of gliding. I guess you could angle that way, but you're gonna end up
and
really
then
far
the
away
spinning
from
the
everyone
tail and you
else.
fly and then you go. Whoosh.
Yeah, you can. I mean, with featherfall, you can theoretically like glide. I think you travel. You can travel like 5 feet for every 10 feet you go down. So
Yeah, because I mean, if
you can get out about 250 feet because it's a 500 foot
so
drop.
if we saw, I mean, if I saw Jerusha fall when you held him last time, and I have a +5 to survival, I could say that maybe tying us onto you would be smarter than just holding onto you.
Yeah, but
Anybody want to lash onto me and I could try and like float us off?
no,
I think we should go at once.
you definitely can't do all of them at once, and I think that you're gonna have to
Yeah.
make some Arcana checks or something to make sure that you can carry even one person at a time. Because again, this gift is like Brad's thing. With the 17, you were able to carry one person, right? Because the other person fell out of your arms. But this is different. I don't know. There has to be some sort of check. You can't just fly people. That's a level 3 spell. Like.
I don't know. What do we want to do then?
I don't know. What do you want to do? What would you think would make the most sense?
I mean, I have,
Are you manipulating the arcane
have 30
forces to
feet
like
of rope.
pick up more people, or to like pick up more weight than yourself? Are you holding them in your strong arms and treating them like an equipped item, or what?
I don't know. You all came up with this
I'm
idea.
strong.
You're
I'll tie
strong.
myself on and be like a backpack.
Yeah. All right. We'll start with her.
Okay.
She's
She's
heavy.
lashed on.
The heaviest.
So in that case, yeah, you can make a survival check to see if you can tie yourself on well enough, and you can make an Arcana check to see how fast you fall.
Alright,
Or
I'm
to
gonna
see
use
how well you're
inspiration
able
on
to
that
see.
because there's no.
Yeah, I know we're gonna.
Ooh, guidance.
Alright,
Ooh, yeah,
so
guidance.
14. What is guidance giving me?
I give you a
D4.
plus
Straight to
4.
4.
Okay. Okay, 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tie yourself on pretty well.
Yeah.
And then you can make an Arcana check to see if you're able to like maintain your Raven Queen energy. Or actually, since it's a
Maybe
class
saving
feature and
throw?
it's not magic, you can do religion if you want.
Okay.
You believe that you can.
Oh yeah, you can carry her, and I'll let you carry that nat 20 to carry the next person too.
Okay. So
You
get
call-
2 of you guys down.
You
All right,
call on the
let's-
Raven Queen's like her
Wings.
like all of her power, and yeah, some like when you're flying, usually it just kind of like lets you float, but this time like some shadowy wings sort of like
Envelop.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Alright, I say we send Jerusha down on the nat 20.
And that's
Okay.
why.
Alright.
I'll let
Who's
you,
the horse?
I'll let you keep the.
It was just there.
There's no horse. There's not a horse.
I'll let you keep the You can keep the harness.
I'll hold on to it. We'll return it to you once we're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'll hop on next. I'm not as good at tying knots.
Oh, so
No,
wait,
that
before you
kind of
guys
the
all
hardest
get down,
thing.
let me describe what you're jumping into real quick.
Oh yeah.
So at the base of this big pit, basically, so essentially, I want you guys to imagine the entirety of this mushroom forest kind of being on like the inside of a crater, right? So like there's like a big divot essentially going
So
downwards.
it's a cake.
Well, yeah, I mean it's inside of a cave, but like this whole thing is like it's kind of like a spherical like bug in the rock, but like a giant one. So like the base of the floor, like it's 500 feet below this part of the cliff, like right here, but like it's going down in here. And then so like the farther you get out here, the deeper it is. And then the fortress is kind of like up on the opposite slope of the wall. It's like not all the way up, like not eye level here, but it's like up a way so that it can like look over the rest of the mushroom forest. And so, and yeah, and when I say mushroom forest, essentially like you guys get out and look and see that like literally right up into the edge of the cliff is like giant mushrooms, like 20, 30 feet tall. They're all kind of gently glowing. There's a soft haze above them and what looks to be below them. If you look out occasionally, you
Are
can.
they emitting any kind of hallucinogens?
You don't know. I mean, not like from here. No, from here it just looks like they're glowing, but you can't say what would happen if you like breathe in spores or whatever. And so yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. It's like it's like kind of a steep slope and then sort of evens out as it goes down. So yeah, that's probably more like 750 or 700. Yeah. And so yeah, so you guys can jump down and you'll land kind of like in the middle of some mushrooms. Are you gonna go out for your like full 250 feet?
No, probably.
Featherfall, you'll like featherfall like
Uh-huh.
directly down.
On a mushroom.
Okay.
And just
Hug it.
And you're
Hug it.
like so you're like hugging it and kind of slide down.
Hi, friend.
And is that a stool?
No, I mean you can try. I guess his scarf isn't gonna work to like stop you completely.
what if I plan on? I can guide enough to land on a mushroom, right?
That'd be
How
squishy
big are
enough
the
to absorb
They're
some
like
impact.
pretty big and woody. I mean, like it might absorb some impact, but it'd be like running into a tree at like falling. I mean, or it'd be softer than a tree, but it would still hurt.
Yeah.
Something would be stopping you abruptly from a 500-foot fall. So,
How much do you weigh?
Not a lot.
Rude.
or small.
I'm a tiny girl.
Yeah, I'll take. I guess I would take him for a bit.
Okay, I guess you can make a
That's
strength
useful.
check to see if you can hold on. I'm assuming here that
Ooh.
I would
know if
offer
use-
guidance.
what is
If
that?
I levitate
Add a D4.
from my Mark of Polaris, can he like just pull me down as he's going down?
4.
How long do you take for?
18.
She's only supposed
10 minutes or so.
She's only supposed to be able to levitate upward though, and like I'm not sure because that's
You
like
do strength
human.
levitation once you get to the bottom.
I got an 18.
Okay.
Oh, cool bean.
I'm
Do you want to read it?
reluctant to make this canon for you, but I suppose I guess that's okay. I can't think of a reason why like if he's dragging you downward it
And I'm like
wouldn't.
a helium balloon. So
Yeah.
if you just like
Slowly.
Because like you're only
descends.
supposed to be able to ascend to like 5 times whatever your level is. So like if you are above that, I would assume it would be like a helicopter. Like you're
That's
only
Like it'd be like a
You do it
parachute.
when we're just about to land.
kind of
Just about to
yeah.
land, just the last.
Yeah, just to slow it down
Yeah,
enough to land.
I get. Yeah, you can roll Arcana to see, but the DC is going to be low. I can't think of a reason to argue with you about that. So, sure,
Yeah.
roll Arcana for her. See what she did.
How are you riding on Stool?
Hanging onto one end
Oh.
of the stars. Where his hand?
She's got. What do you have for Arcana? Like +10.
Plus 6.
Yeah, so that's
So I said 10.
just good enough. I was going to give it to you if you got a 10. Yeah. Okay, so you can do that this time, Stephanie. I'll let that slide.
it's like it's the red balloon child book.
Oh.
So yeah, so you guys are down at the base of this mushroom forest.
Well,
Nobody.
Kimber, I'm still
I
at top.
go
Kimber
back
hasn't
up
come
for
back
her.
me.
This is the last.
Does anybody want to? Do you want to do anything else while you're up top? Maybe you've gotten like a general lay of the land, but nobody bothered to make
Right.
any kind of.
Yeah, while
Check
everyone,
to, like,
everyone
see if
is
they can
up
tell the
there,
way.
Raging
I'll try. Well,
Invisible, less concentrated.
He's frightened.
He's just
so
constantly
I
frightened.
probably.
Did
I
you?
guess Stool, would you?
You used your inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay.
My first roll was not
Would
great.
Stool have been
You guys would be
able
better
to
at
kind of
timing
point
out
out the
the
general? Well, okay. So I'm.
The stool is down already.
Well, before we like,
Murphy.
would Stool like from here? Would Stool recognize like which direction we're going?
Yeah, he'd probably
He
know.
fell from above when he was high up to that general area.
Would
I mean,
you have
yeah,
pointed
but,
that
like,
out to us?
I don't know that you Like you didn't make a perception check to see. I mean, I think you know where your cave is, but I don't know that you necessarily know.
Where the giant. We saw the.
You
we
told
saw
us where
the.
the castle was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A reference point.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
I guess
so-
that's fair. So he would have a general idea that like the mushroom village where the mushroom queen lives is
Who's the mushroom queen?
Mama Doodoo.
Wait, what?
That's the name of the mushroom queen because Brad came up with all of his
We-
whole
Oh,
family.
it wasn't necessarily Brad.
It was a group effort.
We
Oh, okay.
contributed.
Great. So yeah,
No Mama Doodoo.
Voodoo
Wait, which
Mama
one is
Doodoo.
Mama
She wasn't on the.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mama Doodoo and Papa Log.
What numbers are they?
Oh, I don't know.
Do
It
they
doesn't
have-
say.
No.
They don't have them.
Yeah,
They
not
don't
all of
have
them have.
Okay.
No.
The mom and dad weren't down there.
Okay.
I didn't see any that would fit.
That looks like them.
So yeah.
So I guess while I'm up here waiting for everyone, because I'm assuming even for
You can have,
Kimber, it takes a
It
while
still takes a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
to
they can
go
only float so far.
1,000 feet twice. 3 times. Well,
This will be the third.
2.5 times.
Yeah.
Because you have to come
Come back.
back. So yeah, I guess I would look and see if I noticed any like civilization, like
Okay.
inhabited areas,
can make a
or things that would be good to avoid.
Okay.
Um,
That's interesting.
like I don't know, like a mushroom swamp or like
Okay.
an area that looks
Okay.
caved in or like something. I don't know.
Okay, make a perception check. That's pretty good.
Plus 4
Yeah.
perception.
Okay. So yeah, I think that you would see there's kind of a clearing in the mushroom trees towards the fortress, but like off to like the left from where I'm sitting. So like
this.
more, yeah, like if the fortress is over there, that's a very zoomed in or zoomed out view, but yeah, I think you'd see that there seems to be like things that could be like humanoids walking around over there, like they're very, very tiny to you. But you do see they're like walking around in the clearing. I don't think that you...
Hey!
Murphy. What's their deal?
Cats, probably.
I think these are cool.
Oh yeah, they're probably fine. Hey! What are you guys' problem today?
There's probably the cats outside.
I feel like they just have to meet a cat once, and that'll be the end of them being interested in cats.
Hey.
Probably.
Anyway, so I don't think that you, even with a 22, I feel like with your, well, she's got infinite dark vision because of Kimber, I assume.
Yeah.
I
Is there
assume you've been
range on
renewing
that?
that.
It's a, no, I don't think so.
As
Once
far
I
as
give
you
it to
can
you, you have it
see.
for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, we can double check
Is
that,
it-
but
There's
I think
like
it
no
lasts.
limit to it. I'm telling you, his class is ridiculous.
it's super cool.
We should probably nerf it somehow, but
Well, I mean,
that's a conversation for a different
I'm
day.
just a
They
cleric,
will
and they're
when they
not full
publish it.
casters, and they're terrible.
They are full casters. What are you talking about? They are absolutely full
You heard it.
casters.
It's there. It's official.
Wait, what?
You always
when
say
we
they're not
started,
like.
you were
full
so
cast.
grumpy because we didn't have any arcane casters.
No, they are full casters, but they're not arcane casters. They're objectively not arcane casters, but they're full casters. But they have like all of these stupid skills
They
that
can't
are
be
dumb.
strong if they're not arcane casters.
Yeah, they can. What?
I drew a map. So we start here. We got to this mushroom area.
Yeah.
The black tower is here.
It's more like
Or is it on like
It's-
the
This
upslope?
goes back up slope.
yeah, it is, but it's
Which
like
way?
up above, so like
Can you
it's
go
more
I don't know.
Which
oh
one
here.
is Oh, is it?
The yellow and red can.
It's,
So if this is the
903, I think.
the
There's something
base,
funny
so the
with it.
mushroom forest basically extends
This
all the
way?
way
what
up this
flavor
way,
is
and
it?
then the fortress is here.
Okay.
So it's like back up a ways on the back slope.
My village here.
Yeah, it's sort of like
I mean, it's two-dimensional.
yeah, so like your village would be like out here,
That's what it is.
if that makes sense. So like
And it's round. Like
If you're thinking of it like a bowl,
yeah.
so you guys are here right now. The Dark Fortress is over here. Your village is kind of like, it looks to be like a clearing over here.
Okay.
And then,
It's a Mexican chocolate milk stout.
I think I've had that before.
It's
good.
good.
Brad, you've got arms.
I do.
With a perception check of that, I think
cast arms.
you'd see other villages. You'd
It
see
tastes
what.
like the abuela's hot chocolate.
Here's what's gonna happen. Once the baby comes, I'm gonna go buy some.
Yeah.
You better get it
Super
soon. It's
good.
probably limited edition.
I was gonna say,
Well,
hold on
where's it?
to
We'll
it.
get it now, and it'll be like
I got it at
like a
HEB.
welcome to motherhood gift.
Yes, we'll
There
get
you
you
go.
an assortment of tasty beers for a baby basket
Stool.
gift.
Stool. You would know.
That's what we will bring.
But not
Yes.
for the baby.
I
No.
That one's for mom.
That's the ear.
We'll
What?
bring something for baby too.
That's
It's a
fine.
face.
Painted
What?
its room.
It's face.
It's a face.
Oh, it's an angry face. This way, it's got 2 eyes
Oh.
and a bad little
And a
beard.
bad
And a low
goatee.
chin. So this is like the cave that you grew up in. It's like over here, arching around the
You grew
side.
up in the ear?
Over here.
So I got good hearing.
You've never actually been to the main village, but you know that it's here. And there's like other villages kind of like interspersed around. There's one like up on the slope over here. There's one near that. There's this one, but like most of your family lives over here. And there's like a big giant mushroom forest in between. Lady Peregrine with a 22. Oh, that's a long time.
20 minutes.
Yeah, on high pressure.
I mean, the stew we did last time was 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 pounds of basically uncooked beef now.
Fair enough. It smells like fajitas. It smells very good.
It does smell really good.
And that's it?
Yep.
Do I
Yeah,
have to
it'll
press start or anything?
pressurize and then it'll go. Okay.
Oh,
There.
yeah, there it goes.
Yes, 22. What do I see?
So with a 22, you probably recognize that things are moving through the mushroom forest. You can see like kind of big dark shadows moving underneath some of the mushrooms occasionally. And then also congruously, because you know that this is like underground, you see a few like what looks to be like birds flying around kind of like over the top of the haze of the mushrooms, but like pretty low to the tops of them. So maybe like 50 feet up.
Okay.
And they're kind of like, the birds mostly start around like there are not very many of them out here. Like maybe there's a few out this way, but as you guys move inward, there are certainly more of them. Yeah, kind of like flying around.
He's,
got
he's
glasses
eating.
and a mask
He's
now.
trying to eat
Oh.
cheese.
You didn't successfully lick the cheese.
So
Okay.
Would I know like edible foods for these guys?
no,
Are they any edible?
you eat compost. We already talked about this.
I know what I eat, but I know what.
Even
I mean,
though-
you know where the
I
best
can still
compost
find
is.
Food and
Yeah,
water for
but I
ourselves.
don't know if I would be able to.
And
do
5
that.
others once a day if land has it available.
Okay.
So I should be able to recognize food based
Yeah.
on my background.
Okay.
I will
You've
ask
been in this
Stool
area.
about the bird type things.
It doesn't
Once I
say
get
if I've
down.
been in the area.
Okay.
It just says can find food or water for
Yeah,
some.
no, that's an Outlander thing. They're just
Yeah.
able to like
if
find
land
food
has
and
it
drink.
available.
Yeah.
don't know if it's-
I think that there's probably food and drink available here. You might have to
Not
do.
out of the decanter of endless water, so at least we have drink.
Yeah. I mean, it's also not like super huge. It's probably like max 2.5, 3 miles to the other side of the bowl. So I mean, it's not like you guys could be like
It's walkable.
wandering around for like,
Days.
yeah.
Especially if someone can fly and
What's the diameter of the trunk stems or the mushroom stems?
are you calculating mushroom
Do
density?
mushrooms live inside of the mushrooms? Do like your walking mushrooms live inside the mushroom like houses?
Oh no, I think we talked about this before. They don't have like architecture per se.
Where do you?
They kind of like, well, they live indoors. right? So they've been in a cave their entire existence.
But like, what do they live in the cave?
They sleep under the glowworms.
What are these giant mushrooms feeding upon?
They're in soil. It's a bowl.
Does soil form underground?
What nutrients are available?
Yeah,
I guess if you
can I
really
roll
have
for
fungi
nutrients?
to, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, there's nutrients.
Nitrogen.
There's nitrogen. This is actually very nitrogen-rich material. Maybe has something to do with, like, I don't know, the fucking magic that exists in this universe. Damn, that magic! It tricked you. It tricked you real good.
We get enough nitrogen, we can become magical.
Oh, that's canon.
You're already magical.
Not all of us.
Oh, she is too. What are you talking about? She can set stuff on fire with her hands. So yeah, I'd say that the mushroom stems, like I said, they're about 20 to 30 feet up on average. There are a few taller ones, a few shorter ones. But, I don't know. How big is...
It's really useful for starting like the forges. Poke it. So then we mess around.
They're probably like
That's fair.
that big around at the base and they get kind of skinnier as they go up, like mushrooms tend to do.
And then,
Yeah,
And a
and then,
tree.
like a big... Yeah, I mean, they're tree sized.
So they're like as wide as Stool?
I think that Stool is probably a little less wide. I don't know how big...
He's pretty big.
I mean, but like... The base of a mushroom is like this. Is Stool that wide?
Pretty close. Go in a little bit. Probably like
he's
that.
hug size.
So he's probably like... I mean, he's like a little smaller than like the fattest part of the mushrooms.
Okay.
But also he's like... remember, like an abnormal
Yeah.
mushroom for his people. Like most of them are much smaller,
People call him Gmo.
thinner. Yeah, they call him Gmo.
Gmo. He's Gmo. Yeah, that's right.
And so yeah, so you
That's
guys
his
are
nickname.
you're aware of like
What up, Gmo?
Lady Peregrine. Lady Peregrine tells you that things
So
are
it's
flying
Sea Raptor
around
calls it?
closer.
Yeah.
Lady
Sea Raptor
Peregrine
gave
tells
him
you
that
that there's like shadows moving through and around the mushrooms, like toward out here. And that you know where the general location of the mushroom village is. And so what are you going to do?
Stealth.
Let's head out.
All right.
You
Do
ready,
you have
Lady T?
disadvantage on stealth?
I mean, if we wanted to, when I get down, I can spend like 5 minutes cutting my armor off so that I can move more stealthy.
All of you who
That
had
seems-
spells.
I thought
do
you
wanna
are
take
armor.
make a
I mean,
camp?
basically, yeah.
Oh,
Can't
would
we-
you like
I
to?
thought we didn't have spells right
Yeah, I know.
Right, but if we do a long rest, you can.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
now. Oh.
We just have cantrips at the moment.
How long have you guys been down here at this point?
I don't
Not
know.
terribly long, probably.
I mean, we've long rested twice.
Overall? I
We
think?
long rested after we found Stool.
That was it. We short rested in the room.
Yeah.
So depending on how long we've been
Okay,
walking,
how long does it take you to
maybe
get your
a
spells
day.
back?
It's
is
a
yours a
long
long
rest. I mean,
rest?
6
Oh.
hours.
Long
6
rest.
hours.
is how long you meditate.
That's what my,
You meditate for 6
yeah,
of the 8.
meditate for 6 hours, and that's considered a long
Have you
rest.
guys been down here for more than 5 minutes?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
down on the 4th floor?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
easily.
Are we down?
Everybody needs to make a con save.
Are we down there?
Even
Is
me?
it against any sort of inhaled poison,
Oh,
harmful
yeah,
gas
did-
or vapor?
You're good. You're good.
Do we
You're
need
good.
to roll?
I'm good?
Hmm?
Does
Okay,
he need
yeah.
a roll to carry me
To
down?
carry her down. We didn't
Oh
actually
yeah,
get
yeah.
her
You
down
can.
yet.
Yeah, make
I'm-
Arcana.
Or you said religion?
Religion. Yeah, that was.
16 would be religion.
Yeah, you can.
I
hold it.
can-
Did you have inspiration?
And you can make a
I
dex.
can dex. Yeah.
I thought you did.
Oh, yeah, I think I
Yours
do.
inspiration.
I mean, it's good. He
But-
was.
I
It
know,
was-
I
yeah.
know, but he doesn't have the token.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
but
19.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. So you guys make it to the bottom, but everybody who doesn't have some magical way of breathing or / doesn't need to breathe or / isn't a mushroom who's used to it should make a con save.
Sorry,
So
George.
there's 2 of
Jerusha's
you,
frightened.
which I keep forgetting that Sarah doesn't need to breathe. So.
I mean, Jerusha does.
Jerusha
Oh, yeah,
does. Yeah, I gotta
Jerush.
roll for Jerush.
18. I got an 18.
Okay. He didn't.
He didn't.
No, he
He
didn't.
got a 20.
Guidance. Guide Jerusha.
I would guide Jerusha on how to breathe.
He
I
got.
would.
I'm
got
picturing my necklace like glows as it breathes for me.
Yeah. I would agree. It's
Purifying
definitely
my air.
magical. It's purifying your air. Jared's got a 15, and he.
Is that with his extra D4?
Oh, is he guiding?
Yeah, I guided his breathing.
Yeah, still not good enough.
Leonora got a 10.
So Leonora and Jerish both take 3d6 poison damage. Are you resistant to poison?
I am.
I don't.
You do.
I am as well.
Everybody's resistant to poison? Cool.
Whoever's ancestry coming through.
You guys take 11 damage.
If we're.
If no, you pass.
She passed.
You got an 18.
Yeah.
That passes.
Okay.
But barely. That's like the mid. So Jerish got 17 overall.
I got a 19, but it was a 4.
That's so.
That was 11.
And so yeah, so basically the way this damage is delivered to you, you're just like breathing and talking and chatting normally, and like all of a sudden, you like get like terrible like lung cramps, basically.
I started hitting Jerusha on the back.
He takes another 1d6 damage.
That should be like 1d4.
Yeah.
Unarmed strike.
Unarmed strike, yeah.
I give Leonora a silk handkerchief to hold over her mouth.
Oh, thanks.
You alright, Jerusha? What's wrong?
He's like, I'm having trouble breathing. That's different. What do you think's going on?
Mushrooms.
It might be that odd haze.
Should we chop down all these
Make an
mushrooms?
Are you
investigation.
feeling any
No, no, no,
strange
no, no,
effects?
no, no, no.
Otherwise, are you seeing anything
so-
odd?
Set him on
He's
fire?
Like,
No,
no, just
no,
some stars from not being able to breathe, I guess.
That's quite a different experience than I've ever seen with mushrooms.
You can make an investigation check to see if you're right, Lady Peregrine.
I mean, the only mushrooms I've ever had experience
That's
with
true.
are
That's true.
hallucinogenic
Well, I guess
mushrooms.
it would be-
Honestly, we probably like
It wouldn't be
burned them in some of the tents to like make it seem more
Yeah.
Mystical.
yes,
It wouldn't-
mystical and
I
extravagant.
guess that's fair. It wouldn't be investigation. It would be whoever wants to make a medicine check can try and do.
Oh,
do that.
I actually,
Are you proficient in that? You should.
I'm not, but I've got still
Yeah.
+5, and I feel like Kimber would
You've
be
had
inclined
experience with this asphyxiation before.
Yeah,
have
Is
you?
and that's what we
there-
did.
Is
That is
there
true.
A smell.
Yeah, I'd say that it's probably it
Associated
smells
with
like
mushrooms?
dank and like mushroomy. If that makes
Right.
sense.
I got a 20, not a natural 20, but a 20.
Yeah, you can kind of look around and see that like there's like Lady Peregrine was kind of speculating, the haze in the air seems to be like, now that you're like down here and can like see, they're like, it's basically like imagine glowing pollen like during the spring and fall in Texas. Like it's almost so thick in the air that you can see it, but it's spores.
You guys need antihistamines?
And I think with a 20,
Give any benefit.
you probably also know that like
Clarity.
Allegra.
it's not the sort of thing that like breathing through like a rag would be able to fix.
stop.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So do with that what you will.
You can rest in the tank.
Do any of you caster people
We
have
wait
guts
6.
as
Oh wait, no, we can't.
I was gonna say, if we wait 6 hours, I could make a hut that we could
They'll
go
die.
to, but
They'll
I
be-
was gonna say
They'll
that
be dead in
still
6
wouldn't
hours.
work
You
so
know that
well.
you guys have been down here for about 5 minutes and they've taken damage already.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna go well.
I mean, I don't see very many options besides.
Why isn't back up there and
I
make
guess
him
if I
rest?
went in a rage, I could incinerate the spores for a minute, but I don't think that's a very long.
Well, that would also they'd also have to be within 10 feet of you, right, and take 4 fire damage every time.
Two,
with
I
two.
I think we just didn't have it locked.
Okay.
Could you guys? What if you guys made could we make torches and burn them in front of your faces and burn the
Oh.
spores off?
I mean, as
I
far as I'm
do-
aware, I'm fine.
I do have Sacred Flame cantrip. I don't know if that would do anything.
That's spare the dying chance.
I could like create or just like keep doing
My
that
experience
over and
with
over again,
mushrooms
burning
is that if we
the
don't want this
spores.
to get worse, we shouldn't burn them. that
Okay.
has been my
We
experience.
wouldn't have to burn
Okay.
mushrooms though. I mean, we would just have to burn the air.
The spores,
And
the
then the
air. Yeah,
spores.
not the mushrooms themselves, but the air as we're like moving
Yeah.
through it.
So,
I can cast
just
resistance.
scientifically speaking, if you're burning the air to get rid of the spores, it would have to be pretty hot, and that's going to consume a lot of oxygen, which would bring its own potential issues.
Yeah.
Just saying. Since we were complaining about nitrogen in the soil and whether or not there's soil underground, you guys get to deal with the fact that fire consumes oxygen, and that's what's going to happen because we're all scientists. Most of us are scientists. You're a scientist of a special
I'm
kind.
gonna cast resistance on Leonora.
Okay.
Thanks, Frank.
So every time she does a saving throw, she adds a d4
Okay.
a minute.
For a minute. Okay.
Yeah, so I can just keep doing that
Okay.
to help her out.
I say we just walk. I mean, Arvinder seems to be fine. I'm fine. Jerusha always has difficulty.
He's like, you're right.
It'll be fine, dear. We'll do some cardio training with you.
I'm
when we
going
get
to
back.
pick up
You
Jerusha.
can spend some time in the gym with me.
No, Kimber picks up Jerusha and kisses him and breathes air into his face.
But you would still have spores, right? If you're inhaling.
Well, I was not inhaling. I wasn't breathing. So whatever air would be trapped within me could
you can-
pass to him for
you can do it
a
once.
moment
So you can.
to give him how long he
One-
can hold his breath.
One solid, breath. Yeah. He takes a deep breath and he's like, oh, I do feel much better.
Hold your breath. I said hold your breath.
And his face kind of turns purple for a second. He's like,
That was the worst first kiss ever.
Dear, you should have
do you
waited
think
for
you
your
guys have been
date.
talking about this for 5 minutes yet?
I tell him to hold his breath and we're gonna try and push forward.
Okay. He can hold his breath for 60 seconds.
That's better than breathing those 60 seconds. I don't know.
Would I know that the spores made, I don't know anything about spores?
I mean, I think you would know stuff
Let's
about
see.
spores, but I don't think that you would have ever thought that they're dangerous because they're not dangerous
No,
to
I'm
your
saying
people.
may not be as thick up higher.
I would probably, honestly, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
you could probably assume that out from underneath the mushrooms,
Yeah.
it's probably less hazy.
Uh,
I think that you would know that too, from looking at them from above. There's
Maybe-
obviously a point where the
Get
haze
out
stops.
of this location.
If
Above.
we get
Yeah, if you
them
go up.
up on the
We hop from
mushrooms.
mushroom top to mushroom top.
I scoop
You
Jerusha into
should've-
my arms.
You should have calculated mushroom density.
I was gonna.
I scoop him up into my arms.
Okay.
And I will fly us up to the top of this mushroom.
Okay.
I'm still frightened.
It's still.
He is still frightened.
So you're still about 10 feet below where the haze stops. It's thinner up here.
Okay.
Instead of every 5 minutes, it'd probably be every 10 minutes that it would
Okay.
make a con save. But you.
Do I notice him change his respiration?
No, because they're just breathing normally. It was just
No, it's just that. Okay.
yeah,
It's like breathing in smoke.
yeah. Slowly gonna take its toll.
Okay.
So basically, if you guys had stayed down there and long rested, they would have died.
Okay.
Basically.
Gotcha.
And this is not. I was not thinking that you guys were gonna long rest. I was actually not expecting you to do that plot twist. I knew that you were gonna try and do that. But that's not why I did this spore thing. I've been planning to do this since the very beginning.
All good.
Just saying. Just saying. I'm not trying to foil your attempts to long rest much. Only a little.
So I guess theoretically we could try to. I mean,
Like I said, it's about 3 miles to the village.
How far apart are the mushrooms?
They're pretty close. I mean, like imagine like a forest, but mushrooms, not trees. So
basically
I mean, they're competing for space, like the caps are. So like,
Yeah, okay.
if they weren't glowing underneath, it would be very, very dark.
But we could walk on their tops.
Mushroom.
They're squishy. So I mean, you could try, but it would be like some dex.
I mean, I don't need to, but you
I
could.
don't.
I could. I
And
guess
then
I
you could jump above the haze and suck in a breath and keep going. It would just,
I was
it
gonna
would look
say.
I mean,
ridiculous.
depending on what
You
the
could,
DC
like,
is,
bounce.
I could probably acrobatics my way
Imagine if
across
the
the
black
top
fox
of the
was
mushroom.
here.
Ha ha ha!
Parkour.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you should do that.
Leonora, what are you gonna do?
I don't know that I necessarily want to do it for 3 miles, but I also don't really
I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
want
Okay.
to die.
I do think that it's been 5 minutes since you guys have discussed it. So
I am occasionally
Yeah.
like floating up with Jerusha on my back just so he can grab up air
Okay,
and then
so
drop me back
he'll
down.
be okay, but yeah, Leonora and Lady Peregrine, since you guys are still on the ground, probably need to make another con save.
I got a 13.
Yeah, so you'll take 3d6 poison. You're resistant to poison?
I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think I'm resistant to anything.
Haha, the one thing that rogues don't have.
Wait for me to.
Poisonous.
Okay.
It's a racial thing.
It's a racial.
Paul is
Oh,
20.
Nat
I
20
gotcha.
for Leonora.
Stool.
Yeah, so Leonora, you think that maybe you
Plus the D4 from resistance.
wandered into a pocket of less spores or something. Maybe like the mushroom you have is not like fertile. But Lady Peregrine, you take 12 poison damage, and you
Would
start
you
kind
want
of
to walk
coughing.
or would you want me to carry you?
16.
here.
Nice.
Okay. Stool is carrying
Can I
Leonora.
sit on your cap?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll be extra
Where is she?
tall.
Are you guys are sitting on top of the mushroom, right? Or
Yeah,
no?
we landed on the mushroom.
Yeah, you landed
Yeah.
on the mushroom. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if she's sitting on your cap, she's probably up out of like the densest part of the
I'm 10
hay.
feet, so
Kimber,
yeah.
are you up on top with
I'm on top. Yeah, I flew him up,
Okay.
and then I flew him up. I'm flying him up every once in a while to
Can you
get a
pop me on
breath.
top of a mushroom?
Yeah. I would go down. I could
You're
set
really
Jerusha down.
Everybody
That's
before
fine.
Lady Peregrine gets up there, everybody who's on top of a mushroom needs to make a perception check.
Connor, go away.
12.
19.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll roll for Jerish. Or unless you
No,
wanna
yeah.
roll for-
Leonora didn't see anything.
Leonora didn't see anything.
What, you
Okay.
rolled 2? I got a 2.
Jerish got a 2. So Stool, you're the only one that sees it. It looks like one of those birds that Lady Peregrine mentioned is like flying this way.
Does it recognize me as not a threat, or does it be seen as
You
a
can't
mushroom?
see with a 19. You can just see that there's like a black shape moving towards you guys. When before they were kind of sticking towards like the interior.
Would you know about the birds having lived here before?
He hasn't lived like out. He's lived in a cave and sort of wandered his way up from there.
This is
I would have had
racial
to travel. How did I get out?
You probably like stayed stuck along the edges. So you've probably seen these birds before, but not like up close at all. And I don't think that you would have like.
No.
Well, actually, you could make a history check to like check your genetic memory to see if your people have communicated in birds.
A 1.
Yeah, so they haven't. So you get the impression that maybe these birds are like a new addition of the Thieves Guild. Or something. They're new in town, but you don't know what they are. But
There's
you know
a
that
friendly bird coming to say hello.
that's very loud, Murphy.
Murph.
So Stool says that there's a friendly bird flying towards all of you.
To say hello.
Can I do another perception check now that I know that?
Yeah. You can try and look at it.
It's right there.
Oh, yeah, 27.
Yeah, so you also see the bird, and you can kind of see that it's like a red and blue and yellow.
Okay.
and it's like exotic looking, but it is flying towards you guys pretty quick.
That's an exotic looking bird over there.
I start waving to it.
He's got a bunch of colors.
Okay, you start waving to it. It doesn't see you yet.
I don't really like birds. They
It's-
have a tendency to poop on things.
It's getting closer. Kimber, you can make
Have you
another
been pooped on
perception
here?
check since you like have it in your eyes now,
Yeah, I've been pooped on before.
and you're not coughing or anything. And Stool doesn't seem to be looking very close because he's.
No.
Oh yeah, you don't see it. All right.
Probably like-
So the bird is
I'm
getting
not
closer.
holding. She's on my cat.
Stool has opened his arms, and so this is like a normal sized bird. It's not like particularly large or anything.
Leonora should brace.
Look
You
at the
should
bird.
Brace. There's a bird flying.
Bird coming at you. It's
Yeah.
colorful. It's a colorful bird.
That's pretty.
I don't see anything.
It will be my friend.
Yeah. Well, you're down on the floor, right?
Arvinder and I are just chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
I'm
gonna.
on the
Yeah.
floor.
So
Is it songbird size?
no,
or
it's
raptor
like
size?
it's like I don't want to say like falcon sized.
Okay.
Is it
But
a
it's
toucan?
It's red, blue, and
Yellow.
yellow, and black and white. It's a parrot. And yeah, so
Scarlet macaw. You
yeah, it's a scarlet macaw.
Mhm.
And so it's flying closer and closer, and you guys can make one final perception check. Everybody who's on top of a mushroom can. But you can roll for Jerish if you want. Let's see.
Ah. Oh.
Oh,
19.
Jerish is like,
He's frightened.
yeah, he's like, I think that we should maybe not be around when that bird gets here, and he'll like kind of point, and like the bird is close enough now and it's big enough. You can see that it's got like a black iron mantle around one of its legs, and that looks kind of familiar.
Do you want to go down, Jerusha?
He's like,
Poor
yes,
bird.
I don't think that it's a good idea. Just considering that we're trying to infiltrate the, this whole situation. That manacle looks a lot like that collar that the Gorgon was wearing.
I'm gonna pop him up. I'm gonna say, take a breath and hold it, and we're gonna drop down.
Yeah, and he will.
Can
Okay.
I see the bird?
No, so they're
From here?
they're pretty thick, but I think that you can hear them talking about it if you want.
Well, I was gonna try and throw a rope around the bird and catch it.
I don't think you can on the floor.
I'm feeling like the bird, basically kind of like animal that's like has plastic around it or something. I'm gonna try to help the bird.
Oh, okay. So
it's like a sea turtle with
Yeah.
its head stuck in a thing.
okay, so
That's
the
what-
bird is like flying towards you guys, and it's like 20 feet up. How are you going to try and help it?
Just seeing if it noticed. I'm really.
Oh, it definitely notices you. It's like circling over your head pretty close. It's beating its wings pretty fast. Kind of almost hovering a little bit, trying to like get a good look at you. And Leonora, you see this too.
He's killing you, basically. Stool. Your new friend is
Oh, great.
murdering you.
Stool is
Yeah.
trying to save the bird that wants to eat your face.
We don't know what it wants to do.
You don't know
Wants to
it.
eat your face.
We do not know that.
It's gonna eat your face.
I hope you don't like your face.
I hope you don't need that.
hope you don't like your face.
Johnny cakes.
Good job. Oh. Turn your face. He says that.
But nobody calls you Johnny. I was always told not to call you
I
that.
was very
No.
confused about why they do your cakes.
My mom in particular was like, no.
I was so confused
Uh,
about why
you
they would
okay?
I don't
make
know
his
why.
cakes because the Derek is so shitty. They gave him his
Lit-
Johnny.
I call him Johnny in my head, but never to his face.
I was just gonna,
It's different. It's good. You want to try it? It's very alcohol-y.
It's the triple, right?
Leonora, we should help
Did you want
the
it?
bird.
I didn't. I could put it back.
Okay.
I love Belgians.
Well, do you want it? You can have
We
it.
should
No,
get the
guys,
bird's attention.
there's 4 of them,
Okay.
at least.
Yeah. So the bird is like kind of like. It's very like.
We
It's
want
like
it. We want. I don't know if I can speak to it. I guess not.
No.
I don't know how I feel.
Well, I mean, you could add it to your network if you wanted.
I'll add it to the network.
Okay. So
We can help you.
Parrots are pretty smart, and it will be like, no help. Report.
No, we can help you.
No help. Report.
No, we help you.
No help. No help. Report. And we'll like circle around your head one more time, and like
Wait, how close?
Stool, I think we're in trouble.
he's like kind of like circling down, and he's like,
Can I see it? Yeah.
I mean, I think that if you wanted to, you could try and like climb up a thing while this is happening, because again, they're like really, really tightly. If you were to try and like, you could probably like see glimpses of it, but like the mushrooms are like this close, so like if you were gonna do it, you'd probably make like a try and catch it with like disadvantage.
At this point, if I hear it saying record, I'm just gonna throw a dagger at it.
Oh, it doesn't. That's in his head.
It's in
I mean,
the
so
group
are
chat.
you sharing that with everybody? You're the node, so.
Yeah. Everyone's
Well, I'm
here.
gonna say, Stool, I think he means us harm.
No harm, no help, report.
See, no harm.
No, I'm doing this.
Yeah, no harm. But it's in the group chat with us.
Oh.
No harm, no help, report.
He's gonna report us to
No harm, no
somebody.
help, report.
I don't think
And he's
that's
gonna
a
start
good
like
idea.
he's gonna start flapping away. So yeah, you can try and hit him if you want.
I can do it with disadvantage.
We can help you.
I give you guidance.
Wait, I don't think you can
What are you doing?
works with
Are
that.
you throwing a dagger at it?
It's ability, not
If
attack.
you miss him, we don't.
Oh, I thought she was attacking. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, I see what you
guidance.
mean. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Well, depending on, 20,
With disadvantage,
11, and 16. I got
Yeah.
+9.
you hit it. So
Ah!
you like you it's like you are like trying to
And I
like
don't
get it
see
to
where-
come to you, and it's like starting to fly away, and you just see like a flash of silver as Lady Peregrine throws a dagger that like goes through it. 8. It dies.
Oh!
So like you throw a dagger at it and basically like slice a wing off, and it just goes
Oh, poor birdie.
and then explodes.
That's what you get.
Where does it land?
It like lands it lands like somewhere over here.
Out of the group chat.
I'm gonna see.
That worked well last time.
Is there somebody in here?
No.
Oh, okay.
That'd be scary if there was.
Who's in the bathroom? Aw, we miss you, Cat.
Oh, she's not there.
She will.
We have one viewer.
That's me. What happened, guys? The bird has been attacked. The bird has been attacked. Take shelter.
I think we're out of danger.
You're not in the group chat.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Poor Kimber.
Yep.
Is Jerusha in the group chat?
Yeah.
Is he just screaming? He's just screaming.
If he's
I feel like
screaming,
he would
then
be
he's not-
cheering. He was the one that said like, "Run away."
We'll ask
Yeah,
Will. What
but
is-
he just saw the bird like drop out of the sky.
how often does Jerusha scream in the group chat?
At least once every few minutes.
Okay. No, Jerusha's not in the group chat. though.
Yours is not in the group chat. Okay, so apparently I'm out of the group chat again
Oh, why?
because
You did something last time. I remember it happening.
it was the fire, and I
But
I was
no,
like,
you,
oh, this
he
is
handed you back after
Oh
that.
no, that's right. It was because of something else that I was
Before.
kicked out, and then I didn't know not to do that. I saw Arvinder do
Yeah.
it, and I was like, oh,
You
this
got
is what
hired
we're
back.
doing.
Yeah, he just got kicked out for cheering for the bird.
I said, that's what you get
Oh, yeah.
to the bird,
And I was
and I
asking.
got kicked out.
I told the group to hide because we're under attack.
Just now?
Yeah.
Oh, because the
bird
bear
fell
died.
out.
I didn't see where the.
Alright.
So what do you guys?
Roll
How do you guys
perception
respond
for
to
me
that?
see if I hear
Kimber
what
asked
Lady-
Drusha, like, alright,
Yeah.
so is that better?
Arvinder's not gonna
No,
die.
you do not know it was Lady
Darn
Peregrine.
Wait, what?
I asked Drusha if he feels better that the bird is no longer a threat.
Jarish would be like, I don't know that it was a threat. I just reckon that manacle around its ankle looks very familiar, and I'm not sure, but like the Gorgon said that she was ordered to go
Digimon wheels.
get
That's fair.
Stool.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, and then he'll
Should
cough
we-
and go.
Should we go back up, Drusha? I feel like we should go back up.
Is it like the manacle, like the gears in Digimon? Have you seen Digimon?
No, I have. I've seen every episode.
You know
I'm not
what?
telling you.
We go back up.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Devimon. I know exactly what you're talking about. Don't worry. But yeah, okay, so yeah, you guys
did
go
that
back
in
up.
the
He stops
campaign.
coughing a
Yeah,
little
let me
bit.
stop
Okay,
playing your
good.
campaign because it's really annoying.
That was a.
No, that's why.
Wait, what?
No, was it?
Okay.
No, no.
I would like to check out this dead bird.
Okay.
Carpenter is welcome to.
You can
also
make an
come
investigation
out the
check to
dead
go
bird.
find it.
I bet you anything that this bird
Crit.
is not the best dead bird.
Crit for finding.
To investigate?
Ever.
Yeah, you find it. You
Good.
find
I
it.
got-
It's like it looks like there's like
I
a
saw
little,
where it fell.
a small pool of blood around it. It's missing a wing, but it definitely does have a black iron like band around its ankle.
Does it have the glowing runes on it?
You can make a perception check to see. So it's kind of, once you guys get over there, it's been dead for a second, and it is smaller, so it had like less lifeblood per se than the Gorgon.
16.
I cast Spare the Dying.
It's dead. It's dead.
I dig it a hole.
Yeah. So you can dig it a hole. You got
It's not
what
gonna take
for?
16, 17.
Guys, we gotta
Yeah.
be
So
careful.
both of
We
you.
are under attack.
Both of you guys see like the runes as you're walking up on the dead bird. The runes are fading. They're glowing. They were like glowing, and they're like very slowly fading, like the Gorgons did.
So I guess I would ask you, like, if you think that whatever sent this bird now knows it's dead, and therefore we should move quickly. I
Even
mean,
if they
it's gonna
don't, it
take, like,
seems
one,
wise.
It's gonna take like one shovel to bury this bird.
You can. You're right. But
Once
so
it
Lady Peregrine, I think that
I can eat it.
Do I?
Once it decomposes, I can eat it.
That's not.
That seems morbid.
Stool. I would not be surprised if Stool just like. Well, you don't have a mouth, do you?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That means it's done.
I had a mouth.
I just thought you made like whistling sounds from your like face.
No.
Pressure cooker.
I mean, I eat the mushrooms. I eat it. Like,
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
that's
That's
true.
true. That's true. Fair enough.
I'm
Is that
glad.
cannibalism?
It's canon. It's canon. You have a mouth.
Is that, is that cannibalism?
No,
Um.
not in my community. They're not living.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide how best to solve this. Lindsay, you were the one that saw all of the birds flying around, right? So I do think that that would be. Our vendor has asked an interesting question, and I think that you would be able to say that you saw a lot of them, but given neither that you are familiar with magic in any sort of extensive way, I think that neither of you would know the answer to that question.
My guess
You get
is
theorized.
it's
What was-
probably
yeah.
safest to assume that they do and keep moving.
Okay.
But we can bury it in the group chat. I'll tell Stool that we found the bird. It seemed to have died of natural causes. We've buried it and are ready to move on.
I saw a flash of silver and a feather's hit.
It does have a chain on it. It must have been that. I'll roll this.
Why would it naturally lose all those feathers?
21.
You have to make a
These things happen.
she rolled a deception check of 21. You can make
I mean,
It seems to be molting.
she's lying very hard, and Stool, you don't know a lot about birds.
what am I rolling?
17 plus.
Wait,
Insight,
roll
I guess.
Roll insight for me.
I think that
23.
We should go.
Really?
Yeah.
17
okay,
plus.
yeah, you know she's lying.
Leonora got an 18.
Yeah, Leonora.
Regardless, we should still go.
I don't think
We're not
that's
safe
how birds
here.
work.
With using thaumaturgy, because I'm so far away from her, I yell, "Good hit, Lady P!"
Thank you, dear.
I'm not in the group chat.
Salty.
Oh, then I'll just say it to
Aren't you?
I'm gonna
Just
add
a
you
little.
to the, I'm gonna add you to the group chat again. What do you mean, good hit?
You got a
I'm
second,
gonna
but
suggest to you
as
then,
I'm
let's just go.
bounced out of his mouth, fell on the floor, and Connor ate it.
And I'm gonna say, Stool, if we're going to save your people, we need to leave now.
We believe this bird is associated with the woman who was hunting you.
The Lady Peregrine have to roll to see if the spores are hurting her.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say we've been here for about 5 minutes and she's been on the ground.
Yup.
You rolling that one.
Yeah, so 3.
Inspiration.
You take 13 poison damage. Jerish is gonna roll.
Jerish is above.
He's got a nat 20, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, good.
And then roll for Leonora.
I would say I'd give you my necklace, but it's an attuned item, so that's not gonna do it.
Leonora's got a 10.
She also takes 13.
14. I mean, she is above still.
Yeah, but it's been long enough. You guys have been like fooling
I
around.
can roll again because I've been down on the ground.
But she's.
Yeah, I guess that would be a thing.
Leonora
It
said
goes
it
like
was
the
10
5
feet
minutes
up,
or
right?
10.
This, I'm
Yeah, I mean basically. So, but
Because I'm 10 feet.
And she's on top of his head.
Oh.
I guess, yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, you're good. Don't worry about
Could
it.
just float.
And that's
You
good.
can't move if you do that.
We could tell you.
But at least to be able to grab an air of breath. I mean, that's what I feel like I'm doing with Jerusha. It's kind of like popping up every once in a while just so we can get a clean
Yeah,
breath
but
of air.
I feel like everybody's been kind of distracted with the whole bird thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to kill you guys with this, but I do feel like
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the mechanic.
I suggest we keep moving.
I'll start walking.
I'll follow Arvind.
Okay, so Arvinder and Lady Peregrine sort of like stalk ahead like they do.
I got Jerusha on my back and I'm moving forward as well.
You guys can.
I'm assuming you know which way we're going.
Leonora,
Right?
I'm gonna only
I have
have
a
you and
general
I'm gonna
sense.
directly talk to you.
Okay.
Are you mushroom bouncing?
Why would
Oh no, I lost Jerusha.
Lady Peregrine lie to me?
Oh
She
dear.
lied to you? Oh, about the bird.
She lied to me about the bird.
I think,
Lying is bad.
yes, but she...
I like how
she
you
knows
like.
you cared about the bird, but she thought the bird was dangerous. And
She knows you cared about the bird.
She killed it anyway.
She knows you
She's a
love the
terrible
bird.
person.
She knows you love the bird, but the bird it couldn't live any longer.
the bird is bad.
We could have helped the bird.
The bird
We were working on it.
The bird didn't want any help.
If you had rolled a nat 20, I would let you cut its leg off and like make the
Some
ankle fall
people
on the
who
ground.
don't want us to help still need our help.
Just saying.
Oh no, I rolled.
That's
Is it
true, you
terribly?
also
No.
can't
I rolled like an
source
11.
your
Terrible.
mother.
No, you still hit, but they've got armor class of like 11.
Can I force her not to kill things?
You can't.
Free will.
Not unless you had a spell.
Nobody's
or
got
like
spell.
really hard.
Or a curse.
Or
You can't kill anything.
If I was,
That's true.
if I would have seen you throw it, I could have reduced it by 1d8. I mean,
Oh yeah, it would have been fine. I only do 1d4 damage. I mean 1d4 plus 5, but.
so, but I decided since I wasn't paying attention, I was just watching the bird, and then I just saw that I didn't do it. But kind of like what I did with the spider.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, so you guys can keep moving forward. Whoever is sort of in the lead can make a survival check.
There's two different leads, I guess. The floor lead
Sarah
and the
said to
top
roll
lead.
for her.
Yeah.
Roll survival for Sarah. She's stalking ahead. Because that's what Arvinder tends to do. She's got a plus
You'll
5.
be the top group lead.
Yeah. I'll be up on the mushrooms with Jerusha.
Lady Peregrine, you can make acrobatics checks to try and like jump on top of the mushrooms if you want.
That's good.
Or if you're concerned about like being seen, then you can stay on the ground and take the poison damage.
I mean, you're gonna take it eventually anyway, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like you could delay it some.
I was gonna say I could swap you out for Jerusha every once in a
Yeah.
while to get
I
a clean
mean,
breath
Jerish
of
has
air.
30 hit points left.
That's why I keep jumping him up.
I have a minimum 23 on an acrobatics
19.
roll. So like,
For
Yeah.
survival.
19? Okay. So, Arvinder, you're kind of like moving forward, looking around, trying to figure out like where you guys are going. Lady Peregrine has given you a general vague sense that you're supposed to be going in that direction.
Perfect. I can
Um,
walk in that direction.
So yeah, so with a survival roll of 19, you guys come across some like pretty big tracks that look like they were made by some like burrowing.
Like a mole.
No, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it. So like,
Is it
not
a
burrowing.
Is it a
but
back-filled burrow?
It's
Is
a
it
vole.
meniscate?
it's
Is it
more
a-
like there's kind of a trail in the ground and like
Tracks
Like-
and trails.
put what's it called? So like imagine the trail looks something.
Like a,
Yeah,
and
but
then little like, I guess they'd be going the other way, wouldn't they? Moving
it's
this.
like. Yeah, except they're like grouped into like twos and like one.
So something with one leg missing.
No, something with like 6 legs, 3 on either side.
Oh.
But because they're not like scratches, they're points. So like
Oh.
something was like it was something big that was like
It was
bulky and it was like kind of like
accelerating.
pulling its body along the ground, but like it had 6 legs and that's how it was pulling itself.
Stool, what kind of bugs live
I like it.
You like it?
Are you? Is this what your books are teaching you, Kimber?
Are you
No.
sexually attracted to insects now?
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, that. What? I don't know why you're
No,
acting like
you
this is such a
also-
big leap for me, Jonathan. Like, what are you talking
also
about?
have an exoskeleton.
I'll
Yeah,
send a picture
that's
to.
true.
What's going on down
I'll
there?
send a picture to him and ask him what if he knows what kind of bug makes these tracks.
You
I
can make a
love-
history check.
I love that we just have a group chat.
It's
That's
very convenient.
maybe.
What?
Another history with a 2. Last history was a 1. This
You don't
was a
know. You know that there are big things that live down here in the mushrooms, but you've never seen one yourself.
2.
I think that maybe Stool, like now that you're down in here, make an insight check for me really quick. The DC's low.
3 plus 6.
Yeah, so I think that with that roll, you would maybe start to realize that where you were grown in the mushroom forest, kind of like off to the side and around the corner, and then like how you got out, you were lucky that you left the way you did when you did. Because there's a lot more in here that seems to be like very dangerous that you were like lucky you didn't run across. Like Bull Dry was looking out for you. Like when you were managed to escape from the cave like unscathed.
I was thinking that since I was technically like I believe forged underground, I did a history.
When did you do a history?
Just now.
Writings, right?
I don't know. You can say if that's valid or not. No?
Would this kind of track be anything
Oh.
that would have showed up in caves where I'm from?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like with that was the thought process. But
Kimber, what did you roll for history?
at 19.
Okay, so you were forged underground, you know
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
But you also know that you were
Not
forged
with
underground, like, but not in like a sort of untamed wild underground.
No, it's fair.
You
Yeah.
didn't see the sun until you were sent off on your first mission, which is like a weird thing for you to remember, but like,
Oh, but I have a memory?
yeah.
Cool. I got a memory, guys.
Todd?
So
It
like,
has nothing to do with
and
this.
basically the memory that you have is like the first time you remember like the feeling of like your legs kind of
Teenage
marching
mother stool.
Okay.
and like emerging out of essentially what it amounts to like a big cave opening and you like looking up and seeing the sun for the first time.
Cool. I will take that. Yeah, no, that's cool.
And actually, you know what? It's not even like the full noonday sun. It's like the twilight sun.
Interesting.
So like the sun was
Which
setting
makes
and
sense
and,
for you.
and you remember
As a
seeing
twilight
like
cleric.
yeah.
Suddenly there's like a she doesn't shiver, but there's a shiver.
Yeah. Now our vendor, what did you rolled a?
I mean, I didn't roll it for history. I had a 19 on survival.
Okay.
To find
yeah.
the tracks, I think.
Right.
But
So
if
you
want
could
to know
make
history,
a
That's a 9.
not. I'm not gonna
Or
make you do history. I don't think. I think it would
It's a
be.
13 for nature.
Yeah, I do think it would be nature. And you don't have to. You can roll again. So you found the tracks with that first roll, but you
Yeah.
can roll again to see for nature to see if you can recognize them.
21.
So yeah, you would recognize that. You don't have these beetles in the tunnels that you live in. Like the dwarves have kind of cleared.
We've eradicated these.
Yes, they're because they're very dangerous.
Don't
Um,
tell Stool.
They are.
True.
You don't have like
I'll whisper to you.
Yeah, you don't
Share
have.
on the group chat.
I don't. Yeah, but she's whispering.
Arvinder
like in
and I
real
are
life.
whispering.
Believe it or not, you
About
guys,
killing.
someone is using their actual voice for once.
I
So,
use my voice all
so
the time.
Arvinder, I think that you
You're not in
probably
group chat.
like these beetles. You know, they're called like this, like not this particular species, but like the family are called like giant adiphages, and they're essentially giant stag beetles.
At least they're not dumb beetles.
And they eat. They will hunt living creatures, but usually they eat like carrion and stuff. But if you like irritate them, then they can be really dangerous because their defense mechanism is like a pheromone signal that like summons 2 or 3 more at a time.
So we should. These things will hunt in packs.
Avoid them.
Yeah. Well, they hunt alone, but like
They'll summon their.
yeah,
They
they're like
call
alarm
reinforcements.
thing. Yeah, they call
Clever
reinforcements.
girl.
Pack tactics.
Yeah, exactly. And you know that they're very large.
Dear.
Like they're dangerous when you get them riled up. And so I think that you would
I'm gonna
recognize.
just have my axe out and kind of be at the ready.
Yeah. And I mean, so like I would also say that like if you tell
We
this
don't
to
have
Lady
spells.
Peregrine, who you were telling that
Yeah.
to her, she described like the size of the beetles, and you would like have a reckoning that
That's
Probably, like,
the shapes I was
yeah,
seeing.
like the big shadows that were moving through the mushrooms, you could see them like pushing the mushrooms aside, so they were pretty big, and you guess that that might be what you've seen.
If we send.
Huh?
No, I'm just talking to the Peregrine quietly.
Oh, okay.
They're just
So
whispering.
I'll say like if Kimber flies up, she can send us like pictures in the group chat and we'll know which way to avoid.
That's a good idea. Do it, Kimber.
Yeah.
What do I do with
Kimber's
him?
already, yeah, she's flying with Jerish. But yeah, so I don't think that you'd be able to reach your maximum height flying with him on your
So, if
But if we can get her just to be high enough to kind of send like
That's
the
true.
video of the beetle.
I don't think that you'd be
Yeah.
able to get high enough because your maximum height is like what, 60 per.
It's 30 per turn. It's the same as my
Yeah.
move speed.
So I mean, it's
per
pretty
turn.
it's pretty slow. Like
So,
that would be a slow.
6 or like so every 6 seconds. I can
Yeah,
move up
but
30 feet
the spores kind of stop at like 60 feet or 50, 60.
from the floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
You just have to get high enough to see.
To snap,
where
and
the
then we
beetles
can get enough.
Yeah.
so I mean, this would
I'll
take
tell
2
you
leaps
that-
and bounds, and
Jarush is not in the group chat, right?
No, he's not.
I'll
too
tell
annoying.
you that in group chat.
Yeah. Do I just keep him with me?
Don't tell Jarusha.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
we certainly don't want him down here if we run into a beetle.
I'm going to use the premise that I'm getting him air as a means of going up higher.
Are you saying this out loud?
No, I'm saying this to you guys
Okay.
in the group chat. I'm letting you guys know. I'll tell him that I'm doing this, that I'm for him to get better air, and then I will Snapchat to all of you.
Snapchat. I will Snapchat.
I just came up with that.
What a clever name, dear.
Thank you. I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
So, as I'm looking around, do I see any thieves' cant or anything that would suggest to me that the Thieves Guild has like pathways or something that they use
Oh,
to traverse the forest?
That's an interesting thought. Yeah, you could see. So like, I think that you, given that you kind of saw where the birds were, you would recognize that there aren't any pathways this far out.
Okay.
So like, I think that if you could make it, and I won't even make you roll for this. I think
We're
that if you
like-
could make it in toward, yeah, you're
We're
like
more
there.
like here.
Yeah.
But if we could get
If you could get in there,
here-
then there might be a path. But you would also know that like where the watcher is going to be like on the beaten
Right.
paths. So like that's something that you guys could like possibly have to deal with.
I
Since
can
this is
probably
happening,
find us paths.
I was gonna spend 2 turns to go up 60 feet from the mushroom top,
Okay.
snap a picture, and then kind of float back down.
Okay.
No, stay up.
Do I stay up there?
Well, I don't know. The birds can see you if you're up, but you can
That's
see
what I
the
was
beetles
thinking.
if you're up, and you can direct them.
Well, that's what I was contemplating. If we did this like periodically,
So
or do you want it more regular?
I mean, I think if you can tell like where the beetles are and where the closest one, like which direction the close ones seem to be moving,
Yeah.
you might be able to move in that direction for a
Would
few
I know
minutes.
if they burrow? Like if these are burrowing beetles.
You can make another nature check. I think you recognized them with the first one.
Crit.
Yeah, so you actually, like, thinking about it again, you recognize the exact species of this from the tracks. So, like, again, your people eradicated them from the tunnels that you live in because they're pests. They're essentially giant, horrible pests. But you know that, like, from that specific track that you saw, the shape...
This is a walking track. Like, it's not a burrowing track.
Yeah, right. But, like, the shape of the feet and, like, how it was dragging itself, it looks like it had just come up from a tunnel, and you think that these are, like, rock adiphages,
Okay,
which
so
burrow.
these things can burrow from rock.
Yes.
Lovely.
So maybe we do want to travel on top of the mushroom.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea.
I mean, and then I'll say to you quietly. I mean, you killed the bird easily enough, so we might as well take our. I feel like it'd be easier to take our chances against those.
How confident do you feel jumping?
Well, if it's a saving throw, I feel okay about it because if it's an effect I can see.
It's acrobatics.
Acrobatics have +2. I feel like jumping could be athletics too.
And I could give you
Oh,
guidance.
yeah, I guess there is. Yeah, athletics.
I could give guidance
so-
also.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I feel
here's the
pretty
deal.
good about jumping.
We could try.
Okay, so the way that I think that this would have to go, and feel free to push back, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I think that if you make a check based on athletics, the mushrooms are gonna shake, and there's gonna be a chance that they might collapse and make a loud noise. With acrobatics, you're like landing softer on your feet, and so the chance is smaller. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is roll a.
Is there an equally negative effect for acrobatics? For using acrobatics?
The chance is smaller that the mushrooms are gonna collapse.
What's the negative?
Is there like a trade-off to it though?
It's probably
More
more.
likely you fall.
What?
More likely you fall.
You would have
Or
Yeah,
like-
yeah. So like the
higher.
DC is gonna be higher for acrobatics because you're like making like bounds and you're trying to land softly on your feet to not shake the mushrooms. And so I think that like
What if-
the DC will be higher for those. Athletics it will be lower, but there will be a much larger chance that the mushroom will collapse and make a loud noise if it falls, and like you might take falling damage.
I guess that's what I was thinking. Like maybe if the acrobatics, if you hit it wrong, maybe it shakes and more of the spores release in that area.
Well, that
Or-
could be it too.
And so
If it
then
falls-
maybe it's
if
like
it-
more poisonous or
Or-
something.
If it
or-
falls,
it's
it's gonna be bad
I don't
too.
know.
So I could see with
Well, yeah, I guess
acrobatics.
that's true.
If it
well,
falls, it's gonna call an
That's
addiphage,
true, like,
basically, is what's
yeah.
gonna happen.
I guess there's not like a specific pathway, but it could make sense that like with acrobatics, if you hit it wrong, like it's so much force in like a concentrated area.
You like bust the
that,
mushroom.
yeah, that like no one
Yeah.
can
I mean, I
use it
guess that's
after
true.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
I
can
don't know.
we can
I
just
mean,
kind
I'm
of
not saying we have to have there be a negative effect of acrobatics, but I think for jumping, it's generally athletics.
yeah. No, you're right. I was thinking like landing light on your feet would be acrobatics, and that doesn't shake the mushrooms as much. But like,
Or like, wait, what is like? There's a jumping speed or something. Like
yeah,
that's
it's
how-
jump distance is like your strength modifier. It's like 10 times your strength modifier or something like that.
In which
It's
case
a
it
long
should,
jump.
So our
in
vendor
which
can
case
jump
it should
30
be
feet,
athletics.
Yeah.
basically.
I think I'm not positive about that. Let me check. I can't ever remember the jump distance.
Oh, jump.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
yeah,
for
how to
jumping.
calculate your
Is that
jumping.
on your board or no?
I got it. Let me,
Okay.
give me just one
Because if
second.
there's already like a mechanic in place that we don't
can
need
just
to roll
use
for
that
it, so just
then.
use the
Yeah.
existing
Yeah.
mechanic.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Long jump. When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. So it's your strength score. So you can
16.
move-
I can jump 16 feet.
Yeah.
I can
Oh.
jump 8.
A high jump is number of feet equal to your strength modifier if you move at least 10 foot.
I mean,
before.
most.
So like the thing is, you have to have 10 feet of running start to use the jump skill as it's
I
written.
mean, all of these mushrooms have 10 feet if you go from edge to edge.
I guess that's true, but like, But they're, I mean, so
I
like
don't
think
know.
about the way a
Probably
mushroom is
wouldn't be
shaped
good
though.
to-
They're
Yeah,
there's
they're
like
weaker
they're
at
balanced
the
on like
ends,
a little.
Yeah,
stick.
weaker at the ends probably and stuff.
So I guess if I just go last, if I have
If
a
you're the
problem
last
with
person,
breaking
yeah.
the mushrooms, like being heavier.
Yeah.
What if we like roped ourselves together with a really big rope to like belay you if you fell?
And like haul you up.
I mean,
How are these things? Like
they're 30 feet. They're not super
it's
high.
not super tall.
I mean, so like you could do that to negate her falling damage, but that might limit motion.
Okay, but also you can travel without needing to breathe.
No, I know.
And so it would just be,
I'm
it's
saying
just
in
a
terms
beetle
of like
thing.
if there's
Yeah.
in case of beetles.
No.
Like maybe
Do you have any stealth aspects?
What's the high jump?
I've got +2.
High jump is 3
Plus
plus
two,
your
okay.
strength modifier. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump.
High.
If you make a standing high jump, you can only jump half that distance.
The modifier plus what?
3.
So I can jump.
+3? Okay.
So for high jump,
Yeah,
For
yeah,
long
going
jump, it's
vertical.
just equal to your strength score.
Because I can cast jump.
Okay.
You don't have
My
spells.
scarf.
You can cast jump with your scarf. Isn't that only targeting you though, or can you just cast it?
I think it's just me, but
Okay.
I
No,
So
so
you
can
you
jump.
can jump.
Jump
You can jump real
can.
far.
15 feet and then float. 15 feet and float.
You are Super Mario.
Yeah,
And that wouldn't make any noise because you're falling slow. So
Yeah.
so
Totoro.
It's
Totoro.
basically just us.
Yeah.
You too.
I mean,
That's what I
and so
wanted
the
to
other
know,
option
so I can
too
cast
is
jump
like
to
what
go
you guys
up.
were thinking before, like Kimber floating above and kind of giving you some warning if she
Yeah.
sees
We
beetles.
could just
Snapchat.
kind of sneak through.
Yeah, and try and stealth. Because
Trademark.
I think that you critted before about the beetle. I think that you would know that they've got like tremor sense.
Okay.
But
Okay,
also,
10%.
just because they're not like, they are carrion eaters primarily. They will hunt humanoids, but like, it's unusual. So you're, I think that there's
They're
like a
big fucking
50-50
ants,
chance.
So
Yeah.
I feel like we could kill
we
one
could
if
probably
we
kill
needed
them.
to.
I mean, if we
And
needed
worst
to, I
comes
could
to
toss
worst, we could
Jerusha
always
down.
climb up a tree.
That's true.
What'd you say?
Thing?
What'd you say? Did you say we could throw Jerusha to him?
I said worst case scenario, we could throw Jerusha down.
That's terrible. He's so nice. He's never done anything to you.
Are you kidding me? I love Jerusha. He was
You
my
guys
first
hate
kiss.
him.
He was my first kiss.
And you're ready to toss him to the death.
He was not that good.
She really is a
Were
robot.
you, dear?
I think I was pretty good.
She really is.
Kimber was all like gross
Yeah.
tongue.
No, I was pretty good.
Oh,
It was-
serious?
it was-
I don't feel like he makes moisture in his mouth, so it'd be like a dry tongue.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a cat.
He was all wet and gross. I don't know. It was weird.
These are sweet peas. Okay, food's ready also. So, these are the savory plantains and these are the sweet ones. Just because these were ripe and these weren't.
Ah.
And there's hot sauce from Belize.
Ooh.
Very
From
excited.
here, go that way.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And there's also Johnny cakes in the back.
There are Johnny cakes in the back.
And there's well, chicken for that. Yeah.
Made by Jonathan, not Johnny Miles.
Not
You've just outed your entire name now.
It was bound to
What
happen.
is
They already saw our faces.
So does
Red
sauce.
beans and rice?
Yeah.
I like red beans.
And then a coleslaw. And
I'm also not super hungry because I had lunch at 3 o'clock.
Mm.
For what?
I took a nap when I got home, and so then I woke up and I had my Spanish rice after I woke up, and rather than before.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
They crumble. Nah, it
So
exploded on
being
me.
asleep made it kind of difficult to eat every single time.
Mhm.
I mean, that's. I guess I can't really argue with that. Are they crumbly?
They are crumbly. Yeah.
they taste like biscuits.
I don't know if this is what they're supposed to be like.
Okay.
I never made them before.
There's a little dog.
Yeah.
So you guys have to
No,
do-
for
I
sure.
probably won't do that, but you may.
Oh, I would.
Do we have dessert? Oh, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream and
Wait, what
cakes.
happened to that jam that I just-
I'm trying to open it.
Okay.
My hands are greasy.
Help, Jonathan.
I have Johnny cakes on my face.
I got it.
I don't need you anyway.
Pass me a fork from that. I will.
You want a small fork or
You're interesting.
Big
Is this how they normally come out stuff?
I feel like when I had them, they were like softer, like readier.
Fluffier? Yeah.
But I don't know
I'll
what
take
to
a
do
little.
different.
I love
No, I was gonna say like I was just going off of the golden brown aspect, and that's yeah where I kind of got that.
Yeah.
Let's get nice for the jam or spoon, so that way you can use your fork to eat your food with.
Oh, I like my jam with I like my sweet with my savory. So.
No, I know, but I'm saying like so that more than one person can.
Oh yeah, I guess
themselves
that makes
jam.
sense.
Sure. I suppose.
That was my argument there. Not that it wouldn't taste delicious putting guava jam on something else.
I mean, they're
Oh, it is
tasty. They're
Thursday.
very biscuity.
I forgot what it is. I kept thinking like, God, what can you eat that it's not Friday?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not Friday.
When is lunch over?
Easter,
What day
Yeah.
is your birthday on?
That's all.
the second.
Oh, these really
What
are the
letter day is that?
They taste like biscuits.
Mhm.
A for April.
Okay. I will look it up.
What was everything?
The rice and beans are really good stuff.
So Stephanie, explain the food to us.
Yes.
Mm,
Tell
yes,
Twitch
and-
about our dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, we're having Belizean food tonight. It's like a traditional
Your birthday's on Thursday.
Belizean platter. So there's stewed chicken,
Stews of the world.
stews of the world, red beans and rice, a coleslaw, and all of these things are kind of like typical. And then there's plantains, and we had really ripe plantains, so those are sweet, and not so ripe plantains, so those are savory. And Johnny cakes with guava jam.
Somebody has to make a pretty plate so we can.
Alright,
Mine's ugly.
10 out of 10, I would move in. I would live in Belize.
Well, so okay, guys, when somebody was working there, wouldn't eat any of this, just had plain chicken.
Who?
Is that you?
Showing.
And once I get into character, I can't stop.
Yeah, she went there for like her field work.
That's
Oh.
right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
stuff, and she just ate plain chicken.
I love you, Cat.
But also you're picky. Don't think we forgot.
The coleslaw is a little bit different because it's like an English cream dressing. So, Belize was a colony, an English colony, so there's quite a bit of like English
We're sponsored by Belize.
English influences in their food.
A nod to colonialism.
Yeah.
Everybody roll for history.
Sponsored by
One.
Belizeans against coronavirus.
3. We do not support coronavirus.
2.
American education system is doing great.
History?
Some of us are.
I'm pretty sure I was gone for South America week
Also,
though. but-
Belize was a pirate's coast. So, good rum.
Nice.
That's something we care about deeply. Just saying.
There was this rum that it's Nicaraguan, but you can also get in Belize. And I found it that one time we went to all get like liquor. That one time.
What, Emily?
No. It was like the 4 of us. It was like a while ago.
That one time. I'm sure you all go get liquor often.
No.
We all go individually.
Yeah, we
What are you saying about us, Sarah?
And then we show up
And
each
what's that
with
supposed
like
to mean?
4 people's worth of alcohol.
You like to
or
have fun.
like I did today, 12 people's worth of alcohol.
Hey, that's okay.
I bought a lot of beer today. It's all
It's
been good though.
beer.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
There's no judgment.
Where
only
did you
questions.
get the Mexican beer?
The Wooded Acres HEB. Here, I'll text you a picture of it.
We found out that the Wooded Acres HEB has other things as well.
They have 800 different types of matzo.
This is why
Really?
Wooded Acres
Right
HEB
now.
is the best HEB.
No, well, and so I told
It's like
Morgan,
this
I
is
was
the
like,
best I've
I
heard.
couldn't find it, and he was like, it's all at Wooded Acres where the Jews live.
Where the
Mhm.
Jews
Like-
live. You couldn't tell us that when you found out we were like looking for Jewish ingredients.
No. You had to wait for dramatic effect.
Mm-hmm.
What if
He
he's,
waited for his opening.
what if he's watching?
Probably is.
He's not sorry.
They would never apologize. And neither should we.
I didn't realize I like coleslaw until like we moved to Ohio.
Mm.
You should show chat your plate.
Oh, it's my plate pretty. It's kind of all over the place. Ooh, this is sticky. It's under here. Why is this sticky?
Who has texted?
It was me.
Oh.
It was the Mexican chocolate food.
Oh.
Mm.
Yes. There we go. All the things. Oh no.
Oh.
Did it crumble?
Yeah,
And then it fell jam side down.
Oh no.
I'm gonna play it though.
Yeah, I
That's-
was gonna say at least.
Ooh, we have 2 viewers then.
Oh.
They're probably you and me that have both actually registered.
Are you a viewer too?
Oh. That's it.
Oh, so maybe 2 viewers other than you then.
Mm.
I thought we were surrounded by like a hedge of food.
I'm okay with that.
Barrier of food.
She's pregnant, leave her alone.
Don't attack her.
If you're a lurker, type in chat. Gotta get those lurkers out.
Mm.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
The lurkers hide and then
They just watch but don't comment.
Yep.
weird.
They lurk. It's like when you go on a forum but never
Yeah,
post.
never read or post or never post anything. So yeah, so basically what I was saying before we started eating, which is very good. I think
It
that
is
this
really good.
might be one of my favorite meals that we've had so
Mhm.
far.
Aw,
This
once
is
we get to
excellent.
the end, we should rank them. Except
I don't remember.
feel
I
like
don't
we won't
remember.
forget.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, okay, so that's the thing. The
You
ones
gotta write
that
them
we
down.
can remember
If we
are
document
the
it.
winners.
Well, I'll
Unless
tell
we
you what
remember
was the
them
loser
for
is that
being really
weird
bad.
plum dumpling.
That's the one I was just thinking of.
I don't remember what the rest of the meal was. I'm sure it was
It
fine,
was.
but like
Was that
Mm.
German? Was that the
that was
Papa Hash
Papa
wheel?
Yeah, that was
it was
good.
good, but
Papa
That was
Hash
good.
was good, but I
Yeah.
the were fucking
I
weird.
do remember the dumplings.
Mm-hmm.
Memorably bizarre.
Yes, the first half of
Wait,
one
yes.
was
Hold on.
really good.
Better or worse than the weird Sour Patch Kid cookies?
Oh.
I don't know if
Those
that
were
counts.
tasty
Does that count?
for the first one.
Initially.
They got weird, but
I would say it was a similar trajectory. I think the dumplings on first taste were better than the cookies,
Hmm.
I mean,
and then they both got bad.
Yeah.
the cookies were a better texture, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was going to throw up after eating the dumplings.
that's
'Cause I'm
fair.
pretty sure I went to your fridge and just found the saltiest thing you had.
No,
They
that's
were
fair.
very sweet.
Which
That's
was
fair.
very like expired pickled okra. I'm pretty
Yeah.
Sure.
That's weird, Jonathan.
What?
It
Expired
may not
pickled
have been
okra?
expired, but it was very much
No, it's pickled
old.
okra for sure, I think.
That's very
Now that also could have been a pregnancy thing. I don't remember exactly when we had those cookies.
That was my first campaign.
Yeah.
It was when Kat and Eric were still
That was
here.
fun.
That's true.
Then
They
no.
were still here, yeah.
Nope, can't blame that. They were just gross.
Overall, just gross. Anyway, so before we got distracted, we were talking about how you guys are going to try and get through this forest. And what that is going to look like.
I thought we made it all the way through.
No.
Yeah, thought we were level 20 now.
No. Is there coconut milk in the rice and beans?
There is.
I can taste it.
There's also in John
I've always heard that coconut milk dries
tree
things out
nuts.
when you bake it.
Really?
No,
Tree nuts, yeah.
I was just giving you a hard time.
I warned you about all that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
sorts of
macadamia.
walnuts
All of
and
it's macadamia.
and almonds and all sorts of
It's just
tree
a
nuts.
nut paste. with
That's really what
coconut
it
milk
is,
in
yeah.
it.
It is a good thing that you keep reminding us about that though, because I forget every time, and then I'm like, oh
That's
It's
just
a good
because we
thing-
don't D&D at your house.
shit. It's a good thing I've never cooked because I would kill you.
You bring almond salad to our house on a regular basis.
I know. I always forget. I'm telling you. It's not on purpose. I don't want Brad to die. It's just a good thing you don't
Wait,
die.
in game or out of game?
Either. I
What
don't want
is
any of
it?
you guys to die. I like these characters. I would have been fine with keeping Yizik around. I was fond of him. I was the only one, but I was.
I don't think any of us were not fond of music. I think
No.
we
No,
just-
Sarah hated him.
I think
I actively disliked him. Yeah, he's probably-
Kimber saw him as like an interesting character. She, I think, was
He's a
curious
weirdo.
about him because she doesn't know a whole lot.
He's gonna
So.
come back. Don't worry. He'll be back around. In
Sarah-
very different form.
Sarah mentioned that she saw on one of the Reddit posts that for like new campaigns that it is good to have like at least your character know at least one other person. So it makes like the social thing
A little bit easier. No, that makes sense.
I haven't done it before, but when she mentioned it, I was like, that kind of
That makes
it
sense.
makes a little bit it makes sense that
Yeah.
at
no.
least you have like one person to talk to. You may
Then you
not
gotta-
like be that close, but at least you like know
At least
that.
a connection.
Yeah.
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 Met them
So I think the
before.
social
There's
stuff always
a
picks up
reason.
after our
Yeah, 'cause
characters
it just
make
takes
friends.
so
Yeah,
long
that's true.
for sometimes the social you have to pick up.
That's true.
That is an interesting idea.
Yeah.
But like also like how do you go into a campaign like planning for that though?
Well, I think if you know the group, if you know the people that you're playing
Yeah,
with,
like I see you
that-
don't go
that
in like
makes
Or
more
like
sense.
when we played at Thanksgiving, Miles and Erica's characters
they
had
knew each
like
other before, actually.
briefly
Yeah.
been part of the same like bounty
Guild.
hunting
Yeah. Like,
organization or something. So
yeah.
like they knew one another, maybe had worked with one
so
another.
they had
a little
already
bit.
had like a working relationship at least
Something
of
that
sorts.
someone can trust a little bit more than
Exactly.
the others.
Right.
Exactly. No, I think that
Which probably would
that's
help with your
reasonable.
character.
I feel like
Yeah.
we all have characters with like weird attachment issues though, who like bond quickly.
All of our characters are flawed and looking for
I've
families.
known you for 3 seconds, but we're friends
Yeah.
now.
You're like
I mean,
my
look
aunt
at
now.
Stool, he's adorable.
That's true.
Stool
that's
is the exception.
That's the other
Did you
tactic.
show them your other drawing?
No. Do you have it?
I just think it's like getting progressively harder to figure out like why like my characters are here. So like Manta Riot was like, okay, I'm from this city, and then he like fell in love with Andra pretty quick, so that was
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Makes sense.
And Solveig was there for like a very
I'm not
distinct
reading one of
reason,
your books.
Aren't you though?
which was
Aw,
nice.
He is cute.
It's turning into a series.
But yeah, Arvinder, and then my character in Lindsay's campaign, who I don't even remember her name right now. Like both of them, it's like, why am I actually?
Yeah, what
here?
is your
Yeah.
character?
Well, I mean, that was the nice thing about Lindsay's campaign is that we've got kind of a reason to, and that's just at the very
Aw.
least. we don't have
Someone
to work
from your
together.
organizations were summoned.
That was kind of the
I'm
thing,
not.
yeah.
I'm not reading one of Kimber's books.
Mm-hmm.
Not to Stool.
He thinks thou dost protest too much.
Yeah, you said that
Stool
3
is
times.
the storyteller.
Maybe I'm reading your book.
Mm.
Oh.
I do me, you do you.
I
It's
see
not
you.
a bad idea to keep in mind, like especially since
Yeah.
we generally do some sort of session 0 thing anyway.
Yeah.
And just even go around like this.
Well, when we do the family of dirt farmers, we
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we'll have
We're
to
all related.
establish the hierarchy of the family.
I don't know if we would have to be like related, or if we're all just like hired in by the family and have just been like working there forever, a neighbor, or
It's all the same village.
yeah.
it just
We're
We're spacers.
co-villagers.
looks like it's just ketchup on that.
I know it does.
I
It's
have
tasty.
eaten this plantains with ketchup before.
Yeah.
Just like
Savory ones, yeah. Yeah.
like fries.
Mm-hmm.
The savory ones can be like super stodgy and starchy.
Super good though.
Everything was delicious.
It was really good.
Yay.
I'm particularly fond of the coleslaw of it.
I know, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Yeah, we should do the Dirt Farmer campaign. I'm interested.
I'm so
Who's
about it.
DMing?
Not me, because I've got like a whole character. Like I'm ready. She might
Whoever
have
has the least
she might have an
development
accent.
character.
Jonathan again.
I don't know. I feel like I've got a set of metal dice I need to use at some point.
As a DM.
There you go.
Maybe a bit
They're
heavy.
so final when they hit.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah,
hit.
that's true.
Bam. Force.
Solid.
I mean, I guess I
Done.
could. But I've always wanted to play a geomancer, so
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That would be yeah.
That'd be appropriate for a dirt farmer campaign.
I don't know.
You'd have to take the charlatan background though and not be a very good geomancer. Or be a good geomancer but just be squeezing more money out of us.
Or
because
half-hearted.
my farm is not productive.
It just makes
Farming
rocks,
dirt.
which is why I have so many of them in my bag.
Yep.
It keeps growing all these crops.
So Stephanie's DMing then. That's what I'm hearing.
Stephanie.
Your time has come, Stephanie.
This is it.
I've been
Run the dirt
summoned.
campaign.
I am the no, that's not true.
You're our first and last option.
No, I was gonna say I'm the furthest one from knowing anything about
Oh
seeds.
no, that would be me.
Not true.
100% me.
About what?
About knowing dirt and all that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done some soil competitions.
I was gonna
That grew up
say
on
you
a
would
farm.
be
Yep.
way better than I would be.
Well, that's why we should be the characters to bring realism to our parts.
No, we need someone
I'm a very
who
good
knows the
geomancer in
soil.
real life, so.
I was
Who
gonna
knows the
say
soil,
I would make so many
therefore they
mistakes.
can
Y'all would yell at
explain
me
it.
so much.
I'm gonna have a baby.
It would be bad.
I mean, the baby trumps everything.
Geomancer.
Baby trumps
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, I could
it's
probably
honestly
run a
fun.
dirt farmer campaign because I know probably as much about dirt
Baby Trump.
as you, possibly more.
So-
You
About
definitely know
dirt.
more about like real dirt than I do. I know more
What's
about
it called?
things that
Soil?
Dreesy thinks is dirt. Which, as you know, is sometimes super
You
I guess
mean-
the good thing about getting the same education is that we can agree about some things that are not true.
That's true.
Which will be edited out for YouTube.
So
I don't know, maybe I'll be super bored and we can write a dirt farmer campaign.
I'm super excited about it. I have like a whole religion picked out and everything. Cause yeah,
Are you cleric?
no, it's
The fighter?
Mantoriah
yeah.
has it. I wrote a religion
But, like-
for Mantoriah's character and he's not really spiritual.
True.
I feel like if you're like a real southern poor dirt farmer, you probably are invested in whatever the local religion is.
The revivals, yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good times.
Mhm.
So, can you guys catch me up on what
Where are we at?
We
discussing
have
right
moved
now?
from here to here
You've moved about 30 feet.
and are trying to figure out.
Someone killed the bird.
The bird died.
Someone
Dramatically,
lied
natural
to
causes.
Stool.
The bird happened to die by some mysterious force. So we've got poison air on the ground. We've got slightly less poison air
On top.
up top.
We got spying birds up top.
We've got giant people and dirt and rock and dead thing eating beetles down below.
And they burrow.
And
And have tremor sense.
And Kimberlite is Snapchatting to you all.
What are we doing? What are we trying to do?
we're trying to get here, probably. We're trying to get to Stool's village.
Wait, orient me.
Are we
What
gonna
is this?
expedite this
Okay.
travel? Because if we're traveling 2
a
miles,
lot of
like
extra
5 feet at a
things on
time,
there.
it's gonna take
Let me
fucking
rinse
forever.
Whenever you guys figure out
Okay,
how
so
you're
we
gonna do
came
it,
in
then
here.
we'll do a couple rolls.
We
and
flew
do it.
down here. That's the cross-sectional view.
Okay.
So we're probably about here right now.
But I'm
That
treating this
X
like a
is
puzzle.
right here.
So
We have
Um,
gotten
I want
nowhere.
I want logic.
No, we're more like here.
yeah, we've moved in a little bit.
Okay.
This is about where the birds start to pick up.
Okay.
This is the fortress. This is Stool's cave. The mushroom village is over here.
His mushroom village.
Yes. Yeah.
This is another mushroom
There's
village.
another one.
There's a
there.
couple of them. Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out
And
how
how
to.
like the bug trap things.
They're in here where
On the
we
floor.
are, but they're probably throughout, right? The bugs are throughout the whole area. So we're trying to figure out how to get to the mushroom, how to travel to the mushroom village without dying of poison, or being eaten by a bug, or falling off of a mushroom, getting poisoned,
And
summoning a bug, and getting eaten by it.
Have you seen any like where it actually burrowed in? Any holes?
You guys haven't moved very far.
I have a question for the DM.
Uh huh.
So I used all my spell slots up top. I forgot about my earring. So I have 1. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, technically.
It doesn't take your magic item slot.
Oh.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It didn't wipe your magic items. It just wiped all your spell slots out.
Does your magic item no teleport?
Oh, cool. So my ring of spell storing.
It's just
I still got that.
power.
So I knew, but you know teleport.
No.
You have a ring of spell storing?
Yeah.
This is why I need to know what you have in your fucking inventory.
It's my rare item.
And why ring
What's
of spell
in it?
storing is not rare.
It is.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I can store up to a level 5. I've got a flame strike in there right now. I forgot about that.
Burn the mushroom. No, I'm kidding. Don't do it.
Yeah, because that's what Helen had that, right?
No.
No?
You gave me the iron stone. It was like
Oh,
normal.
source. Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember
But
like,
iron
when-
stone gives you like improved stat.
Mm-mm.
I thought it stored
So
something.
iron stone reserve. It was like an item that let me store 3 levels of spells. Ring of spell storing is way better. They're similar, but that one's way better. I didn't know that was rare. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I thought it was very rare. What's your very rare item?
Oh, that's my +3
rare.
wand.
Yeah. +3 spell.
Yeah. Wand of the War Mage, +3.
Okay. Yeah? No, it doesn't. It didn't wipe out your magic items.
Okay.
So you can light everything on fire.
Do a ridiculous flame strike and just burn everything to hell.
And Stephanie, what do you have?
What? My item?
Your earring,
My
you said?
earring.
What is it?
My
do?
pearl of power.
Gives you back a spell slot.
Yeah, I think it gives you up to a level 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what my waxy mushroom did that I ate?
Oh.
Still don't know?
That's right. Forgot about that.
I feel the same?
Yep.
You're slowly turning to wax. You'll melt when we take you up in the sun.
Don't bring any fire by me.
So I guess I would trust that if you're acrobatic, then you can probably walk pretty softly.
Mm-hmm.
And if I've got an Outlander background and pretty decent survival, I'm assuming I can walk reasonably softly.
Yeah.
I feel like we can do it, and we know to be on the alert. And Kimber is watching for where stuff is coming.
And if I
Oh.
I have something about surprise.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm surprised but aren't incapacitated, I can act normally on my turn.
If you guys
so if a beetle pops out in
stay...
front of us, I can just smack it with an axe.
You said that they respond to tremors?
Yeah.
It's tremor sense, so they just know when things make sounds.
Okay, so my thaumaturgy at 11th level, I can cast up to 4 of the 1 minute effects at a time, which includes earth tremors that are strong enough to make objects within the area of effect rattle without damaging them.
So
Okay.
how far away can you go?
Up to 30 feet. So if I did 30 feet on either side, then maybe keep us a clearer path.
So
I would
I
say
can
if,
also do that.
Yeah.
if
Nice.
one was coming at us and was getting
We could
close, you might.
distract it or throw it, like over somewhere.
I would say
and-
that wouldn't necessarily prevent it from attacking you. That might prevent it from getting around to surprise on you. Does that make sense? Like, because 30 feet is not that far. So, like,
No, and that's
if
what I was
you're-
saying.
if
Like,
you're
if
making
we're all
earth
like in a
tremors-
But
line-
he's also not flying directly above us. If he's flying off in another.
that's true.
That's true. You could lead it
Or,
away
I
from
could
us.
lead them away, yeah.
And I can do it in the other direction.
And then, yeah, to throw them off or something.
That might also equally call more of them to you.
Good.
But like
Here.
here, not here.
And not in the center, not where
That's
we're
true. I mean, just
traveling.
like wherever the tremors are going
Yeah.
to come from.
So we could at least.
And
If
I
we
mean,
see
I
them
guess
throw
I
them
would
off
have
a
known
bit.
that they're not like inherently aggressive unless they're agitated. So as
Yeah,
long as we
or hungry.
Don't
deliberately
agitate 'em.
mess with them, they probably won't come at like living things.
That's a That's a
Okay.
good strategy for if something is heading towards us.
Okay.
If it seems to be directed.
I will also say that if they are burrowing, you being up above wouldn't necessarily help you figure out where they are. Not to throw a monkey wrench in your plans, but
No.
I'm just saying.
No,
No,
but,
fair.
I mean, but that plus us being prepared and knowing.
Yeah, and
'Cause
having
I
a
feel
sense
like
of
if they
them.
can feel us walking on the rocks, we should be able to feel a giant beetle about to erupt out in advance of it doing it. Because I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's also making
If
some
we're
pretty
like
big
trying
shakes.
to be aware for like ground.
Yeah, I think that,
movements.
if you guys are like purposely kind of like feeling out and not just walking blindly, yeah, I think that's fair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think that they'd be able to get around a surprise on you given how much you
much
know
the
about
knowledge.
them and what you've seen.
That makes sense.
So I think that
I'm gonna thicken my shroud.
Okay. That's what she said.
Barrel pitch. Pretty sure I read that somewhere.
Yeah, so you walk even quieter and are invisible.
Advantage on stealth checks.
Okay.
Plus
but
two
you're
to-
also sitting on top of
Yeah.
his shoulders, so it doesn't really matter.
My cat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Mm.
It does plus 2 to. Should I?
What color are the mushrooms?
They're like purple on top and like glow like sort of like greenish blue on the bottom.
I need to use dust.
It lasts for a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you guys are walking pretty far.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll see where we're at when the minute's over.
I just look like a mushroom walking on a mushroom.
With a person on your head. Alright, so we'll go, so I'll go on the forest floor.
I'll
Okay.
go with Arbender.
Okay.
So you're gonna be taking poison damage, so.
Every 5 minutes. Okay. So you guys I think just kind of start moving forward, yeah? Is that right? Kimber, you're holding Jerish up above
Yeah, up above.
to prevent him from dying. So he's
dying.
he's holding his breath and trying not to take a lot of poison damage. He's gonna make a con save to see if he gets motion sickness.
He's definitely gonna get
He
motion
does.
sickness.
He does get motion sickness, so he vomits every once in a while, I
I
think.
say
until
just
his
let it
stomach
out,
is
buddy.
empty.
Just let it out.
Leonora is riding on top of Stool, who is on top of the mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of like mushroom striding. And I'd say that you could make a acrobatics or athletics check, I guess, to see if you can hold them, like, do that
Maintain.
successfully. Because mushrooms are, like, not exactly the most stable thing.
Yeah. I have them like, slightly jumping in.
Yeah, it's whichever. I mean, and you are like you've got your scarf, so you know you're a little lighter, but like
13 plus.
15.
yeah. So this first one you're good. So you guys make it a little bit farther in. Leonora, or not Leonora, but Lady Peregrine and our vendor can make stealth checks. Or nature checks, whichever.
22.
Yeah, you're good.
19.
You're good. Okay. So yeah, you guys are able to like.
Roll like a 2 for that.
That one was a 14, thankfully.
So yeah, you guys, all of you have
Pretty
rolled
close,
very
though.
well. I think that everybody's feeling pretty comfortable. You guys have this nice plan, and you kind of go from. Could you hand me like a pink marker or something, some different color?
Yeah. Pink.
So you guys were kind of like just like right here.
Yeah.
And now you've made it almost. So you've made it to like the very cusp of where the birds are kind of like starting to flock more. And so everybody that's on the ground who is not immune to the poison, which I guess is just you. 15 plus.
17.
You barely don't pass. So that's 3d6.
Hey, Jonathan, I guess you're pretty far away. I think
11.
Guys doing saving throws.
Poison damage.
No.
Okay.
I think
And
just
so-
the ability checks, you said? Yeah.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Okay. And so now you guys are like towards the center, and you see that kind of the birds are sort of like all there's more of them in this area, and so the people that are
More birds.
on top of the mushrooms, you guys can see.
Pat your
You guys have kind of stopped at the line before you like get too far in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really talk.
But you can
I
see
can't really-
that very obviously there's like more birds in
I
the
don't
air,
talk,
and so what are you
I'm
guys
not
gonna
really
do?
loud.
I would probably come down so I'm not. Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
saying
say
that in
I would
terms of, like,
probably warn
don't go
Jerusha.
for the
I think we're gonna go down,
I thought it
You
means
still might want to hover.
take
Oh,
a
no, no,
breath, but yeah, we're gonna go lower just so that the birds maybe don't see us.
Okay.
Since he seemed to be worried about them before.
Okay, make stealth check. Whoever is up above. And I'll let you make one for
What
like
advantage do I get?
whoever is riding. The person that's being ridden can.
What do I get from it?
Oh,
That
Wait.
mist thing.
Oh, it's over. It ended.
Okay.
Unless you want to restart it and try and like use it for more than just you,
yeah.
which would require an Arcana check and expenditure of extra dust. So what'd you get?
Always. I'm assuming you were saying for Jerusha as well. Or-
Stealth. Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
gonna let whoever is being ridden their
Okay,
stealth check. will
I got a
count.
15. He got a 9. Plus, I don't know if he had any stuff.
You don't have any pluses?
No. I do
Okay,
not.
so with a 15, you are not super obvious. You manage to kind of like
Coast.
float, yeah, and coast down, like right underneath the mushrooms, and so they don't see you. What about you, Leonora? Did you
I got
manage?
18 for Arcana.
You got a what?
18 for Arcana.
Yeah, so you can extend it. So it costs 4 dust, and you can extend it and give Stool advantage on stealth checks. That's the only effect that's in effect right now, though. The rest of them are not. I assume that's what you were going for. Is that what you wanted?
Sure.
I mean, like, did you? You don't have to use it. Like, what were you?
I mean, I was just gonna have it again,
Okay,
but I'm on top of him.
but
So
yeah, I
can
mean,
give
but
it to
like,
him.
so if you're extending it to him, it's gonna.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so yeah, you have advantage on the stealth check.
11
Okay.
minus 1.
So 10.
No.
Okay, 11. So 12 minus 1. Yeah, so there are birds flying overhead, and I don't think you aren't fast enough to avoid one kind of spotting you, and you kind of see it like it sort of like does like a flyby as you're like standing on top of the thing, and like turns, and you can see like its eye like focus on you. It like gets close enough to where you can like see it,
There's another bird.
and it starts to fly away again.
Can I do anything?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
If If you
I
want.
don't tell him. I'm just like being like
You're just gonna do it?
sneaky.
They got low armor class.
14.
Yeah. So you hit
I mean,
it.
I don't have to like kill it. I just.
Yeah, you do. Range damage is always
Okay,
lethal.
great.
So the only time you can do non-lethal damage is when you're doing melee damage. Magic or range is always lethal. So, just so you know.
Okay.
So you hit it, so roll damage.
Wait, what
Did
did you hit it
Stool
with?
realize it?
My
Wait,
bow.
I don't know. You tell me, so.
Perception.
I mean, she's on top of his head, I imagine.
9.
It dies.
15.
To
What was
notice
that?
her? To notice her?
Yeah.
Make a deception check, I guess, Leonora. Or
It all
stealth.
depends on what she says too.
Yeah.
9.
Okay, so.
For stealth. So I guess I moved a little.
Yeah, I feel like you probably felt her. So what are you gonna
I
say?
felt
to her?
some- What
Wait,
was that?
do I still have advantage? Okay, fine.
Not while you're on him. If you've extended the shroud, you're both inside of it. You only have advantage on things that are external.
Okay. I didn't trust that word.
Damn.
Wait. Did you shoot that?
Yep.
You did say you don't like lying.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to shoot it, but I don't trust it. If I could just hurt it so it can't relay its message back to its masters, I would.
We don't know what it was doing or what its intentions were.
Stool, do you know anything about the collar that woman who was hunting you was wearing?
Yeah, if you had any information that could maybe help us not kill these birds, then I won't.
It was a bird that deserved to die.
But I wanted
You're out.
I just wanted to be extra careful. I don't want to compromise our position.
But killing is wrong.
But it's one bird versus your entire enslaved race.
We don't know.
And us.
We don't know what that bird was doing.
You can't help your people if you're dead.
You can't just kill things for no reason.
I have a reason. I just told you.
You fight.
But your reason
On top
is
of a
not.
mushroom with the same shroud.
The shroud is just shaking.
What is going on up here?
I have no idea, Jerusha. I
It
keep
just
getting.
looks like a wavering cloud.
I know. I keep getting kicked out of the whole thing. I have no idea.
Sure, what?
I've never. You were in it? I've never been invited.
Yeah. No. Every once in a while they let me back in, but I almost immediately get kicked out
Jerusha
again.
was in long
Can't
enough to
imagine why.
scream a couple of times.
Like a goat.
I don't even think that he knew he was in it doing that.
Fair.
So
He just thought everyone was talking.
yeah. So
I'm
yeah,
really sorry, Stool.
you guys avoided the bugs and avoided the birds this time. But you also know that you're like
Again, with that.
in the more loosely populated part, at least as far as the birds go. So yeah, everybody can make all the same rolls again. So the two on the ground can make stealth. The two up top, what I have you roll?
Crit.
I did stealth to come
You're good.
down.
Can I borrow your D2?
Do you want me to make a dying poison roll?
Are you about to die?
No.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Okay,
the time.
so that's
So anybody in the stratospores, Leonora, at this point you're sort of like bobbing in and out, and I think that with you and Stool like arguing.
I'm gonna bring her to the bottom.
Okay.
He just hung around.
Okay. So Leonora, you also need to make a con save.
Okay.
alright, so I got a 17 on my con save
Okay.
and a 15 on stealth.
Okay.
10. On.
So both of you take 9 poison damage. The stealth roll 15. Make a perception check. Arvinder, you're kind of walking ahead and not.
14.
You feel like some shaking. You think that maybe there's been like a lot of activity this close to the like you're getting closer to the fortress, and the like amount of like people moving through the forest has been moving up. There's more like creatures. Their parrots are flying overhead. There's just more noise generally, and I think that you would know that the bugs underneath are agitated, and so you probably feel like a slight tremor underneath your feet.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I'll tell
Dropped an
everyone.
arrow under my shroud. I'm ready.
I'll
Okay.
tell everyone who's on the ground to stop, and I'll ask Kimber if she sees anything.
And you can make a perception check.
Kimber's still walking.
Oh, is she walking right
or
now?
looked up?
Or, well, flying forward.
Okay.
I'm not in the group chat. Are you actually
Oh, yeah.
physically saying
then
it to
I'll
me?
ask you, yeah, if you
What?
see anything.
Oh, hold on. I'll
I'm
check.
not used to you speaking verbally.
It's weird. 15 perception?
You see some of the mushrooms, like you're kind of flying like right underneath them, but
Yeah.
like if you turn around and look back, there's like coming from the right, it looks like some of the mushrooms are kind of like tilting sideways, but not like something pushing through them, more like something like moving under them and
Okay, bushing them out,
I'm
kinda.
gonna use my divine intervention.
Okay.
We don't
And
even know if it's going to combat us yet.
Oh, this is not that.
Okay.
You can call on your deity to intervene on your behalf.
You're gonna save the
Your
bird.
need is
Yeah,
great.
he is.
okay.
Imploring your deity's aid requires you to use an action. Describe this assistance you seek and roll a percentile dice. If you roll a number equal to or lower than your cleric level, your deity intervenes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can.
I get less than an 11.
You like shout out to Boldre as like this out of age, this giant beetle is burrowing towards your friends.
I don't know that we're friends with him anymore. Or he's not friends with us anymore.
My question would be like,
It's not just asking a question. You can ask them to
imploring.
do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
Divine intervention
It's
is
like
more
wish.
powerful than just
Yeah.
divination. Like you can, you can ask them to
I know.
do stuff.
he's just confused about Leonora killing things.
Okay.
He wants clarification.
Okay. Yeah. So roll your percentile
In the
dice.
meantime, I'm going to if you have mentioned that there's something coming towards us.
Oh, and I see that now, and I'm mentioning this to you guys as well.
Brad, with you, since you're just asking a question and expending this ability, I'll give you like twice your character level or lower.
Oh.
31.
Yeah, Boldre does not
Not-
answer you.
Which means you can do it again after 24 hours. If
It's
they
a week,
answer,
right? It's a
if
week
they-
if they answer.
If they answer, it's a week. Yeah.
So I would say maybe we should climb. So it
A
can't
long rest.
climb us.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
After a long rest.
Or yeah, I guess that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys can make a acrobatics or athletics check to try and get up the thing.
Ooh, 24. 23.
Yeah, so you guys both are able to climb up a ways up underneath the mushrooms. And are you guys just gonna like hang out for a few minutes? I think that
Just until whatever the tremoring thing is passes.
okay. So I'll say that it's like, you know, you guys kind of like feel it. The tremors get stronger and stronger. You feel them like vibrating the mushrooms, and then like it sort of stops underneath, and you guys can make an insight check. Whoever is like trying to, you got 20.
Crit.
Yeah.
8.
You know that
Rinder likes these days.
this thing is probably just hiding underneath the mushroom for a minute. It's like it's waiting. So they're not stupid, right? I mean, they're like, this is like the way they hunt. So like, it's basically like it knows that it has you guys treed, and so it's gonna wait for a second to see.
Okay. So
But you also know that it with a crit. I think that you would also know that it's probably like less than 2 feet under the ground, right? It's like
Hey, Jonathan, just go out, cast it, have Trevor sits down.
So I'm gonna just say really quietly that like
in the group chat.
it's waiting for
No,
us.
I'm not
Mhm.
I'm not
We
telling
should
you that.
stay.
No,
stay
like out of game.
Out of game.
No, I was
How
contemplating.
close close are you compared to where we are? Our vendor and I are in a
I mean, we're all kind of
together.
group. I don't. Yeah, like what is our positioning? I guess.
It's however you guys want it to be.
Let's say this
I'm
is
not
our
just-
mushroom clearing.
This is the mushroom clearing.
Yeah,
like
so-
grouping.
We can be in this.
Yeah, so they're like holding onto the trunk
I
basically,
feel
and
like
like.
Stool, Leonora, where
And
are you
Leonora,
guys
yeah.
at?
So Leonora, you also need to, because Stool put you down. You also need to make some
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
Not
check.
just like on the cap next to him.
I thought he said he put you on the ground. That's why you had to roll.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, what did you do, Stool?
Yeah, she's not on my cap. I put
So
her on the
yeah, so you need to make some kind of check or like float up in the air or something so that you're not like making noise.
Oh, you can float.
Okay.
Great. I can float.
Okay, how long does that take?
I think it only stipulates how long it takes for me to come down.
Okay. Okay.
So you're immediately just.
So you just kind of go.
And I can control how tall I go too.
Okay.
Let's say over here.
Okay, so all of you guys are kind of hovering or holding onto a tree, and our vendor says to be very, very quiet, and then everybody can make a stealth check with advantage since none of you are on the ground.
My -1 is 18.
Nice.
21. 22.
I got a 15.
Okay.
Jerusha got a 6.
No, with advantage. So you can roll both of those again.
And technically, I realize I was at disadvantage, so that would just put me at normal.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Jerusha gets
And
a second.
You're
roll.
not
Jairus
making-
can roll.
Oh, and then Jerusha gets the second one.
What?
That makes sense.
You're not making.
Oh, that's better. Yeah.
I think that, well, the way I'm picturing this is that anytime she moves, she just clanks really loud because she's wearing armor. So, like, I mean, she may be flying, but I still think that she's,
There's some sort of like.
yeah, there's
It's
motion.
not the most
Making
subtle.
air and
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
with a 15, that's good enough since you're up
Yeah.
in the air.
And Jerusha then
It's
got a
tremor
19
sense,
with
not
the-
like super hearing.
Yeah.
Um,
11. For
Even
stealth.
being in the air?
With advantage. Yeah.
Well, the other
It's
one's
a 2 and a 9.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think that 10 is probably high enough to get it. You, Lady Peregrine and our vendor, since you're holding onto the tree, you guys can feel it sort of, it like waits for a few minutes. Everybody's kind of holding their breath,
Yeah,
waiting.
you could go like
Yeah. Everybody's like
dramatically
being
shushing
really, really
people.
quiet. Everybody's shushing each other. After a few minutes, you can tell that maybe the bug just decided you weren't worth the effort, and so you guys feel the mushroom start to shake as it like burrows off to the left. And so you guys think it's probably safe to move forward.
Should I have tried to do the tremor thing?
Probably better to be quiet.
Yeah.
All right, let's proceed on with caution.
Yeah. And so yeah, so you guys are kind of walking quieter now, like taking quieter steps. I assume, Stool, you're still trying to hop from mushroom to mushroom. Leonora, our vendor, Lady Peregrine, all of you are on the ground.
I'm walking.
Currently, no one's in the group chat.
Oh, really? You kicked everyone out? Okay, so anything you guys say is verbal at this point. Jarish is motion sick, so he's kind of throwing up, but like he's still alive, and you're managing to keep him up above the spore cloud pretty well.
I've had worse from birds.
Yeah.
Are
And
you
so,
going to
I'll
try and
prestidigitate
smush
you
Jerusha
when
as
he
well?
barfs.
What
And
was
so
Are
yeah-
you going to try and smush him?
No, Jerusha's fine. Why would I smush him?
Because he's barfing on you.
No, the birds have done worse.
I'm cleaning
So
it.
this
I
is
don't like birds.
So
I
Kimber,
don't.
now I feel like this is like one of your personality traits. Is you
Yeah.
just hate birds.
I kind of I'm along those lines right
Oh,
now.
God.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of birds.
So yeah, so you guys are floating inward as you go. Everybody's sort of walking quietly. Everybody on the ground needs to make a stealth check or a nature check to see how quiet you're moving
20.
towards the thing.
Jeez Louise.
8.
Okay. And the guys up in the air, you can make an acrobatics or athletics check to make sure that you're still able to jump pretty good. And then
This I'm by myself. Does that matter? Before I was
you don't have, so like you're gonna have to make a stealth check next, and like so this is gonna be whether or not you fall off of the mushrooms and like hit the ground, or whether or not you can stay on them, and then after that is like
So
how
that's
quiet
like-
you are.
So then, yeah, I'm able to jump up 10 feet and it's basically just glide down on
Okay.
the mushroom.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that's reasonable with your featherfall scarf. So
Yeah. I had her.
so yeah, assuming that you're able to get down and like make it okay due to that, make a stealth check to see if you can be sneaky while you're doing it. Because you guys
on athletics.
Yeah, I mean you're good. Yours is just a stealth check.
Oh, okay.
Because you're flying still. So you guys are moving further into the bird territory. And so, Kimber, since you're kind of still flying up and since you're on top of the mushrooms, you'll notice that the birds are getting thicker in the sky. So I think you guys are kind of like, it's like a flock, right? So the way I'm picturing this is like, there's like hundreds of them that kind of like sweep back and forth. So like they're not all just kind of like flying willy-nilly. They're in like a large.
They're the Lord of the Rings birds.
That's
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll probably be out on the ground then.
Okay.
That'd be too many for
And so yeah, so you guys can kind of see them. And the way I'm picturing this is that, like your stealth rolls at this point, if you're still up in the air, is whether or not they see you. Like if you're timing it correctly when you're like bobbing up.
Mm-hmm.
So they see you. So I think that Kimber, you're like floating upwards with Jerish, and like the flock is kind of going by, and with a 3, I think that you would see that there's like, I don't know, 10, I think, something like that like split off from like this big flock that's continuing to fly and start to like fly towards the fortress.
Okay.
And so there's 10 of them. And so you guys are kind of there. And so I'm going to say that they're like they're within range of like stuff. 1, 2, 3. And they're kind of like starting to split off and fly that way.
Well, that's right.
I can try and get 5 of them.
I can hit one of them. I have a crossbow.
Oh.
Actually, I can hit 2 of them since I have an extra attack.
Well, do we
If I
notice?
do-
Also, we don't know. Do we notice this?
I don't know. What do you say?
I would
This is up to
probably
you.
like.
I mean, if you're way up high and we're
Yeah,
not, like
I would.
They are within range. I'm sorry. They are within
Probably-
range, but
But if you shout and be like, birds!
Yeah,
then you're gonna
that's-
alert the bugs.
That's probably what I would do.
well, so the bugs, if you shout, I don't think the bugs would necessarily immediately
Like above
target
ground,
you.
it's-
Yeah, that's because you're flying. If anybody else was shouting and stomping around, then
Yeah.
What about they're right within dagger range? Because it's 30
Oh,
feet
that's
up to
true.
the top of the mushroom.
Yeah.
They're
Are they
flying-
within 60?
I think that they're flying pretty low. I'll say that because I want you guys to be able to get them if you can.
Are there pebbles around?
Yeah, I mean, so it's like a forest floor, so yeah, there's pebbles and stuff. I'll say that like the mushrooms here are kind of shallower, like they're smaller. The closer you get to the fortress, like kind of the more
Peter out.
stunted. Yeah. So they're shorter. So the mushrooms are probably only 20 feet up, and then the birds are probably at like just barely. So like the closest 5 to you would be within your range
You
for
guys
daggers.
see like Stool like just looking down, like trying to figure out, like think. He's just thinking to
I pick
himself.
up 3 stones and I make them magic.
I think if I cast Flame Strike like here.
Really? You don't think that's gonna call attention to the rest of the flock of birds?
Well, so the other birds in the flock have like gone and they're flying. So like again, it's like a 3-mile square, and I mean they can see really well, but they're like flying off this way. So
They kept going.
yeah, because
These
it's basically
ones-
like the tail end of the
How far
flock
away is the
spotted.
castle?
They.
You guys are about halfway, so it's like a mile and a half.
I'm trying to think how far away I could see a giant bolt of lightning from. Or something, because that's what I'm picturing flame strike.
Yeah, flame
being.
strike is like it's what I picture it like is like the column of flame from the Bible. So like it goes, and it's just
But
like a
that's still something that would be.
yeah. I mean it would be bright, and it's like and so that's the other thing too. It's like bright, right? And it is a dark place, but you could kill all of them with it. If you use that spell, I wouldn't even make you roll. They would all die. Because what's your spell save what's your spell modifier?
Oh, 17.
But your
Spell safety DC?
is
Oh,
plus
oh
15,
no,
right?
yeah, and it's 9, 10, 11, 20. It's plus 12.
Yeah, so with a plus 12, that beats their AC straight up.
Okay.
So
no matter what,
Yeah.
it would just go through. Okay. What do I do, guys?
they're kind of getting farther, like they're getting farther away. So, like you guys have the opportunity to get rid of all of them right now, and you don't have to do flame strike. Like you think you can hit probably 3 or 4 of them with your daggers.
Well, so at that, I mean, I'm disadvantaged. I'd probably hit a couple of them.
I mean, I'm saying that like there's 3 or 4 like within like the 30-foot range that.
It's 20.
Oh, it's 20. Okay.
Yeah,
The rocks are 60.
that's true. I don't know if I can do them all in one turn, though. I might have to do them one at a time.
I would let you do. I mean, the flurry of daggers thing. It would be
That'd
the
be
same
quick
thing for
one.
the rocks. Yeah, like
Flurry
I'd let
of
you-
Rocks.
yeah. I'd let you throw the rocks. That would be okay.
Meteor shower.
And
So
Another-
I could
Stone.
So you
I
can
can hit
5.
3 of them. Yeah, I can
Theoretically.
potentially get up to 5.
I can potentially get up to 2.
Or I could spend the spell slot and wipe them all out.
I mean, I guess you could wipe them all out, and then we could just go a different direction.
Move to
Yeah.
the side so that it's not
That's.
directly.
I mean, I guess. Well, so is our goal in killing them is to
Prevent
not
trying
let
to-
anyone know we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
And
gonna
if
have
there's
some.
a giant flame strike, then it'll be like, oh, someone
Someone's
killed
here.
our bird. So they won't know where we are, but they'll know that we're here.
But if they get there,
Then
they'll
they'll
know anyway.
who we are and where we are.
Yeah.
So,
So probably better to kill the bird.
Yeah.
flame strike.
All right. All 10 of them go, "Rah!" and they just, like their feathers burn off and they sort of fall. And you see their like anklets.
How far? What was the range on Flip Strike?
It's got a 10. I know it's got a 10-foot radius and 60 feet,
Okay.
which
Yeah,
should
that's
be alright,
okay.
right? That's.
I was just thinking if we could have let them get farther away.
Oh,
Oh,
I
before
see.
we
I think that they're flying pretty fast. Like,
So is that like maybe
this,
the maximum?
I'm
range?
assuming that like all of this discussion was like,
Should we do it? Should we do it?
Should we do it?
Yeah,
and
like-
then Kimber was just like,
yeah,
boom.
yeah, like she
and-
like made the decision at like the last possible second that she could have hit all
But
of
it
them.
did. Okay, eliminate.
And, but yeah, but so you guys get all of them, and yeah, so like as you do that, Kimber, you're still sort of floating up in the air. You can see the flock of birds sort of like is making like a big wheel in the sky, right?
Coming
So-
back, guys.
So like
Down.
they're still pretty far away. They move really quick, so they've probably made it almost all the way to the edge anyway. But
Yeah.
they don't go all the way. They're probably like here and they're wheeling back.
And drop down.
We should. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like you said in Lord of the Rings, everybody should make a stealth check with advantage because you're underneath the mushrooms. And I'll do Jarish's.
Oh, not good today. boys. 6.
Ooh.
21. I got an 8 last time.
13.
16.
20.
All right. You're not sure if they saw you this time. No birds seem to. Oops, sorry. No birds seem to peel off from the flock to go report back, but it does look like this time the flock sort of stays together. But I think that like the guys that rolled really high on stealth would probably be aware that like our vendor sort of was like out from undercover for a split second longer than everybody else.
Oh, grab it and make sure
Yeah.
he's under the mushroom.
But like the birds have already like kind of flown over, so like you're not positive.
Alright, we should keep moving. Maybe
Yeah.
try to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah,
Go around to the side.
yeah, and
Maybe
so
take a zigzag, a circuitous route.
yeah, so
Serpentine.
Leonora, Lady Peregrine, and Jerish. Now that we're all underneath, we're gonna make a con save.
Oh, there's 2.
Yeah, because he's down now. Because Kimber's not floating up, right?
Yeah.
17 again. I think I've gotten 17 on like 4 of these.
Not 20. So Lady Peregrine, you're the only one. Kim or Jerish got 19. So you take 13.
How are you doing?
Yeah, how much
Yeah.
health do you have?
At 23.
Okay. So yeah, Lady Peregrine is sort of like visibly deflated. She's like kind of like falling. Jerish will look at you and sort of notice that since he's on the ground now, and he gets his first like really good solid look at Lady Peregrine since you guys entered the mushroom forest. Oh God,
Why he's not
Jesus
supposed to be up
Christ.
here.
He's shrieking at me.
This is horrible. And so he will look at you, Lady Peregrine, and say, could I help you in some way? You look like you're really struggling right now.
Just a bit winded.
He'll be like, well, I don't know about that, but here, let me do what I can. And he will he'll like take hold of. He's got like a little wand that he keeps in like a holster by his pocket, and he'll go. It's very anime. It's very beautiful. With that sound, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Not really. He doesn't really make that sound, but he does go. Let the power of the gods of unity like rejuvenate you, and he will cast a 4th level cure wounds on you with his rod.
I know you didn't like that, and I'm sorry that we keep having to do this, but I think that this is in the best interest of
You
the
gain
people.
20 hit points.
Oh.
Oh wait, actually,
Pop you with
23.
Nice.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for
You're welcome. I'm happy to help.
apologizing.
I'll give him another handkerchief and tell him
I know.
to be sure to cover his mouth.
Okay.
The
I know it doesn't help. Well, Lady Peregrine
guidance
doesn't know it doesn't.
from my deity for clarification. Yeah.
We all seek that. I just wanted to let you know that it's not done out of spite, even though I hate birds.
Even though
I really didn't feel any remorse, but I feel bad for you.
I mean, I love birds.
You're the only one in the group chat.
No,
I'm just
I
saying.
voiced that
I
to
love
him,
your
which is why I
back
am in
now.
the group chat currently.
Okay, so I think that you guys have done
I'm
well
letting
enough
you have your time.
so far. I'm gonna have you guys do one more stealth check or nature check, whichever you're better at. Not with advantage this time because you guys are all walking on the ground as a group.
Either a -1 or a 0.
11.
7.
14.
Higher than
Alright.
5. I got a 6.
No, as
All
Jerry
right,
should get.
so Jerish, everybody else did so badly. He got a 5. It doesn't matter.
He's still vomiting.
So let me ask you this
Lovely.
question: do you guys feel like a combat? Because what you have done right now is enough to call a beetle to you.
I mean, it's 9:30.
Yeah, but like I'm asking, like how it's not the timing so much that I'm worried about. It's like, do you guys feel like it? Because I know that I'm combat heavy sometimes, so I like if you guys don't want
I
to.
mean, this campaign hasn't been combat heavy.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
All right,
Arvinder has a really sharp axe.
We've been doing
Yeah.
like
No.
combat every 3 sessions.
it's every other one pretty much. That's what I've kind of been holding to.
I'm ready.
Okay, all right.
Some
So
daggers.
in that
Peter
case,
and I have been like,
So I would know that. So we'd feel the earth start to tremble.
yeah. So it's not gonna surprise you guys. You guys did well enough in your roles that like
Surprise pit.
yeah.
Let's
So
just stand there and be at the ready.
Oh, I already
So
had an arrow knot.
you guys can feel it kind of like rumbling in the ground. And at this point, I think you guys are probably like over here. You've split off from like this path that was more direct to try and get like here. And so you guys are getting pretty close to the mushroom village. The flock of birds flew back off and is sort of like wheeling around in the sky, but you guys are underneath the mushrooms here. So you don't think that they can see you.
So as we feel this, I'm just gonna go into a preemptive rage.
Okay.
Probably. And I'm not going to choose to have this desert fire aura because I think that that's a really terrible idea if there's birds overhead.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so you guys are kind of like, you feel the rumbling from like for like 15 seconds before it even gets to you.
I give her advantage on initiation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Vigilance,
Arvinder,
right?
Hmm?
That's
So I
what
just
that's
kind of
called.
like
Yeah,
tense
that's
up
one
and
of
start like
those.
shaking.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what rage might look like.
Right, and so you're like hands clench and your axe is like at the ready. Leonora, you've knocked an arrow, and so
Arvinder,
is
you're the
Stool
one
doing anything?
who remembered that they like
He's gonna try
call
to stop contact.
others, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
With pheromones.
Okay.
So it's a
Um,
smell-based thing.
Jerish is gonna cast
Should we?
really quick. He's gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds on everybody.
Oh.
He's gonna like raise his staff up in the air, and it's
faint
again, it's very Sailor Moon.
One and then the other.
It's very Sailor Moon. He raises his staff up in the air. It starts to like fire these like pink beams of light. It's got a little heart on the end. It's beautiful. And he's gonna cast that spell. And so if anybody is injured, he's going to let me double check and make sure I know what it does before I say that he does it. Because he's got a staff that lets him cast these healing spells, so he didn't lose it. So he's going to use this 5th level spell and give you all 3d8 hit points. Everybody who's got anything missing is either back up to full or regains 20 hit points.
So if you're over, you don't get it.
You just
to
get
the-
back
you
up
get
to
to
max.
your
You get
max.
back up to max, or and also, were you taking off for your temporary HP?
Before, yeah.
But
whenever
you
I
used
got
it all?
No.
Okay. So yeah, you don't get anything back then. So you're still at full. So yeah, so he casts that spell, and then his like staff. After he casts it, his staff like visibly dims, and like it's not glowing anymore because he used all of its magic to cast that. That was the last thing that he could do.
Oh no, Jared.
Well, I mean, it regains charges, but like it's his very rare item.
I do look over and it's, oh no, Jared, did we break it?
No, he'll be like, oh, don't worry, it's fine. I just can't do that again. So try not to die.
Okay.
So
you,
yeah.
You too, Jerry.
Can I give
Well,
my points to
I
somebody
can't
else?
cast feign death this time, so I guess I'm gonna have to fight.
Stay behind me.
If you want.
Drop him up on a mushroom.
He like
Just have him
coughs a
climb
little
a
bit.
mushroom.
He's back up to full, but he only
Can I-
has 43 hit points.
If you put him on top of a mushroom and I drape my shroud over him, will he be less noticeable?
You can't. You'd have to hold on to him. You'd have to cling to him with your arm.
Can
You'd
you
to
just
be
have him
physically
underneath
touched.
the mushroom? Since I mean, he'll be taking the poison damage either way. It's
Yeah,
not
that's true.
falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just we can hide him in one of the mushrooms.
Hang on to this
So
mushroom.
the way I'm picturing this is you guys kind of like
I'm gonna fly him up.
So like this thing is like gonna come out like right here, and you
Mhm.
guys are all kind of like facing
We're
it.
ready
Yeah,
for
is that
it.
right?
Yeah.
And so Jerish will be like behind that mushroom.
Okay.
All right. And so when this thing comes out of the ground, I don't think Stool, where are you?
I'm probably in the back.
Okay, so you're watching. You're concentrating.
Yeah. That was for my resistance, and I don't have that going on.
Okay. So you guys, you're like watching all this happen, and so the beetle comes out of the ground, and I need something that's gargantuan, which is what, 20 by 20,
Oh,
right? Or bigger? I can't remember. Oh, nice.
yes.
That's too small.
Bug.
What does Sharusha's hair look like?
I told you it's Sailor Moon. His staff and his hair is. He looks like Sailor Moon. He's very anime. It's beautiful. Yeah, so gargantuan is 20 by 20. It's like, so the beetle comes out.
Yeah.
That hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, it kind of like comes out and is like, and like chittering, and like it's got big mandibles and like kind of like claps them at you guys, and like waves its front feet in the air. It's pretty intimidating. So yeah, everybody can roll initiative.
I'm gonna use my channel divinity.
Okay.
Everyone gets disadvantage. Everyone gets disadvantage on the roll.
On initiative.
Yes.
3.
Okay.
If everyone's below 7, then combat does not happen.
I have a 4.
So yours is just a regular then,
Yeah.
since I gave you
So I
advantage.
I got
did
a
like
20 and
a
a
5 and a
19.
7 the first time. I rolled them at the same time, so I don't
Plus
know.
4.
Just
I
fine.
just roll
6.
again.
Just roll 1.
Yeah, just roll 1.
Combat happens.
Okay.
Okay.
I got a 23.
Okay. Yeah. So let me. So
I mean-
you call out to Boldre, you like extend your arms upward and say, "Please don't let this happen." And she like
Would it be a 3?
Everybody
or a
kinda-
6? Because I mean, I rolled them both simultaneously, assuming I had advantage. And when I had disadvantage, I just took the lower one. But would I take the more leftmost?
Wait, did you have advantage?
Well,
I have,
told me to
I have
re-roll.
initiative.
I just
Because I was in the
yeah,
same
I just let you
spot,
guys
so I just re-rolled.
re-roll again.
19.
so. Yeah, I think that this thing comes out of the ground. It's chittering. You extend your arms upward. You send out a prayer to your goddess Boldre, and she like says, "I'll do what I can." And so everybody kind of slows down for a second. I think like you see like time slow down because you're a faithful servant. But Lady Peregrine like she's moving really slow, but she like takes a dagger out and is like getting ready to throw it. She's like in the position, and like you know that like Boldre couldn't fully stop it. So wait, what happens, Brad? Just for my edification, what happens if initiative doesn't happen? Would the beetle have just like left?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, interesting.
so it would be like the initiative roll never happened.
Does Jerusha wear a mini skirt?
Probably.
Mini shorts.
It's
It's
like
a
little
kilt.
It's a skort.
It's a kilt.
So yeah, every hostile creature's attitude instead changes to indifferent.
Okay, yeah. So it would have just left.
So, Lady Peregrine, it might be better. I think yours is higher than mine, but it might be better for you to hold your turn and for me to get in the melee range to get you sneak attack.
Oh, yeah.
So what all was everybody's initiative rolls? Sorry.
19.
23.
19? Wow. Okay. Sorry, let me find everybody. So you had 23, but you're holding your turn.
Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Lady Peregrine, Leonora, and
It just like might make more sense for like battle
Yeah.
tactics. Like by now we would know that you want sneak attack and that.
Bob doesn't exist right now. Kimberlite, what'd you get?
6.
6.
I
Stool,
tried.
are you gonna
Stool.
participate?
I tried.
Yeah. I would be for Kimberlite.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What'd you get?
So your channel divinity did have one effect. The beetle is still kind of moving slow at the very beginning.
I got a 16, but I don't think my roll counts in the.
Oh, and like, yeah, because you wouldn't want the combat to happen, so that makes sense. But I guess if it's going to happen, then you have yours. Is that, yeah.
I think it's anyone who's. I don't know. We'd have to decide how
That's
it goes
interesting.
through.
Okay.
We can talk about it later.
It would make sense, though, that you wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily count yours.
Hey,
Hey, get down. With your bad self.
I think
Okay.
I haven't been checking chat.
Oh, that's a skirt. Oh.
Okay, so you guys are good.
Yeah.
So whoever wants to go first.
So,
So
Arvinder?
I guess I would know that these things are inherently. I mean, this thing has come up towards us.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's hostile.
Yeah, and it's like
No chip
clicking
finger
its
set.
clicking its
Yeah.
mandibles and like waving its hands at you or feet at you like it's
All right. Perfect.
yeah. It's
I'm
like
gonna-
you think that you've maybe impinged on its territory in a way that like it can't forgive.
All right. This would be the part where we attack this beetle. So I'm gonna rage. So I'm gonna go forward and I'm going to choose to attack recklessly
Okay.
on this beetle. And that is a 23 to hit
Yeah, that'll hit.
for 19 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then my second attack, I crit on that.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, let me try to remember how I got
And
these
the
things.
beetle's dead.
Okay, so max weapons damage dice. Okay, so that's 15 slashing damage plus 14 damage. So that's 15 15 plus 14 is
29.
29 plus 4 rage damage.
33.
Plus, did I have anything else? If I score a crit, I can make a bonus attack after this. So let's see if there's anything
One
else.
bonus.
And I
melee
get to
attack.
rotate an additional 20 to see if I lop, or an additional d20 to see if I can lop off a limb.
Okay.
So no, I don't lop off a limb.
Okay.
But then I get a bonus attack,
Yeah, 1 melee attack.
1 melee attack, which is a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
So that's another 19 slashing.
Okay, so what all was it? 19 plus.
19 plus
29.
19 plus 33.
Okay.
Because the rage.
38 plus 33.
Can I see it? Does somebody have a calculator I can borrow? Do you have a calculator, Tom? Sorry.
No, you're good. That should be 71.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Leonora, it's your turn.
So I have my arrow knocked, but I'm not going to use it yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna call 6 tiny meteors to me.
Okay. With a cantrip?
No, with my spell slot that I still have.
Oh, okay.
Your earring?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I forgot you guys can't cast anything.
Yeah.
That's right.
God,
Yeah,
they're
I
great
use my,
axes.
my ring to kill all those birds.
So I'm gonna send him like here, like towards the back of him,
Okay.
and he has
How many?
to make 2 of my 6.
Okay.
He has to make a dex save.
Okay. 17?
He passes.
Okay.
So he'll take half damage.
Okay.
For everybody.
Oh, sorry, Will. I get to get another weapon dice, so that's an additional 12 damage to what I did.
Okay.
Knew there was something else I'd forgotten.
So half of 13, so 6.
Okay.
Yes. So it's like, and so I have still 4 minute meteors like circling around me.
Okay. Lady Peregrine.
I am going to throw.
It sort of hisses, by the way, like when Arvinder like smacks it with his axe. It like goes.
Alright,
I'll
I'm
let
gonna
that back at it.
throw 5 daggers at it.
Okay.
The first one will get sneak
attack. Okay.
That's 25 to hit.
Yeah.
27. 13.
Miss.
28.
Okay.
Okay, so
You need more d6s.
I only get 5 of them right now.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 7 plus 5
It's 12,
plus 6
18,
plus 6
4,
plus 6
Oh my god.
30,
plus 5.
35.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Plus, what's, did you already added your weapon bonus?
Yeah,
yeah,
so 35.
plus 3 plus 2 plus 2.
And is that
Plus another
what
7.
Does that add your extra? Because you get your,
I don't. Did we say?
you don't get your attack, you don't get your damage bonus on subsequent dagger throws?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
What's the first one?
So it's just 3, 2, 2.
Because this is like a skill that she's got. So she gets it on the first one,
I
which is the
can-
one that gets
I
sneak
can.
attack.
I mean, because I can do it every.
Okay.
And then
It's like using a bonus action attack.
yeah.
But if I did an offhand bonus action attack, I'd still get the extra weapon damage. I wouldn't get it the proficiency bonus.
But you only do 1 instead of 5.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm saying like when I was playing like as Reese, when I would do raise and then stab
Yeah, so that's the 2 attack.
That's
Hit a 5.
Okay. I think I'm good.
Okay, I mean, you did like 1,000 damage. So. Yeah, so Stool, it's your turn.
What's the beetle thing called? What's his name?
It's an adaphage. ADEPHAGE.
It's a type of virus.
I mean, that's basically what
Something
they are.
that eats, right? It's an eating.
Yeah, they're like,
What is ag?
Fago. Yeah.
it's like, they're supposed to be like white blood cells. They like get rid of like corpses and stuff. And like, so if you're thinking of the Undercity as like a body, they get rid of like the infections. Sort of. They're decomposers. So Stool, it's your turn.
I'll
This
cast
thing looks pretty injured. It looks like it's bleeding.
resistance on myself.
Okay. Cool. Boop! Kimberlite.
Say, I don't really want to do this, Stool. But again, I think this is something we have to do in order to help your people. So I'm going to use Sacred Flame, which at 11th level, so they need to make a dex save.
What did you roll for initiative?
6.
So this thing is screaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I was talking about its pheromones?
Yeah. They get there that quick?
Oh yeah. So you guys are like about to kill this one, and it's sort of like, and I think that, I don't know, you guys could make a perception check to see if you can like smell it in the air, but it's like spraying its guts on everything, and therefore like
My
it's
necklace filters out the smell.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah, I can do it too.
good.
We can all do
Do you
it.
have another thing that I could use for?
Not that.
I need a big thing.
Perception. 17.
Does your
Here, I'll use this.
thing have a cap? Your
My
little
what?
thing?
No, I don't have it with me. Sorry.
Okay.
How about the tops of the
Oh, this'll work.
mason jars?
That works, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
well.
close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so another one comes out like right here. And so it's like right on top of you guys. And so Kimberlite, you're going to cast this cantrip, and you are about to cast it, but it rolls initiative and like comes up right behind you and like around everybody else, and it starts to like essentially, it's got this thing called Titanic Emergence, and when it emerges from its burrow, everybody within 5 feet of it, so that includes Jerish, makes a dex save. So Leonora, Stool, and Kimber. Jerish didn't pass either.
Dex.
Yeah.
7.
Well, 11.
Okay, so when it emerges, you guys, everybody takes 13 bludgeoning damage and falls prone. So basically it like interrupts your cantrip. You're about to cast this cantrip to kill its friend, and it like comes out of the ground, and that's the end of its turn.
Wait,
So yeah, all of you guys are prone. Or
I
with
got-
That's 13,
with-
right?
I got a 15.
for dex save
I had resistance, so I had the
with advantage.
I had the 1d4. And I rolled a 4.
Okay, so yeah, so you actually aren't prone, but you take 6 bludgeoning damage
Okay.
as it emerges. And so yeah, so its turn ends there. Jerish takes 13 damage, and he sort of like screams as he like falls to the ground. And so Kimber, now it's your turn again.
Okay. Then I will use half my movement
Okay,
to get up.
all right. And so this thing is like right on top of you.
I will say, I am sorry, but I am no longer sorry at that.
These bugs, man.
And I'm gonna do Sacred Flame still on the one that's dying there.
Okay,
Which is, so it has to make a dex saving throw.
okay. 17.
If it meets, it beats. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. Spell save DC is 17, so I
Okay.
guess it's gonna take half.
Okay. Well, no, wait, for cantrip?
Yeah.
No,
No.
not always. It depends. Like, what does the cantrip say specifically?
Generally, you don't.
That
It's usually half damage. With if it fails is like comes with like level 2 spells.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So sometimes cantrips do it, but not always. That's about right.
Oh,
I
well,
feel like
okay.
you
Then I
need
did
him.
nothing.
Okay. So yeah, you like conjure this flame and like splash it against this one, and it sort of like hisses and snarls at you, and then goes, ooh.
Oh. Oh. As a clipboard.
clipboard.
Oh, that scared me. And so essentially it goes and goes to attack our vendor who just did like so much damage to it. And so it's going to do it's going to take 3 attacks on you, and it goes to chomp you with its mandibles once, and then stomps on you with one leg, and then tries to like swipe at you with the other. So it takes 3 attacks.
It has advantage on all these.
Oh, okay. So 23 to hit,
That'll hit.
20 to hit, 29 to hit.
Yeah, it just needs to make a 16. So.
Yeah. And so you take 28 damage from its legs, and then 18 damage from its mandibles. So that's
46.
46.
And it's bludgeoning. Is it bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing?
It is both of those. So slashing and bludgeoning. So
Okay,
it's
average
23. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like it's very angry with you. And so that is back around to our vendor.
Alright, that's fine. I'm gonna choose to attack it recklessly again.
Alright.
Fuck this guy. That's a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
19 slashing damage.
Yeah, it dies.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
what does it look like when you kill this first one?
I stick my axe down his throat.
Okay, yeah. So you like it's like roaring at you, and you just go fuck you, and like slice in the middle and like wrench it out through the side and like over your head and sort of like whip it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just like a spray
Alright,
of
cool. So I'm
goo.
reduced
Yeah.
it to 0 HP, so I'm gonna get to make an additional bonus action weapon attack in addition
Alright.
to my second attack. So turn me around and I'm gonna go smack at this other one.
Okay.
Alright.
Push me out of the way.
Attack. This one is a 15 to hit.
That misses. So you go to attack this other one, and it you thump the axe down on its head, and it's got like a really thick carapace, so you like have to jerk it back out, but it doesn't look like it went through.
Okay. This one is also gonna miss.
Okay. All right. So this one
This one is too chomp.
yeah, he's like Leonora, your turn.
What do I have to roll to keep concentration? Since I got knocked down.
Oh, were you concentrating on your meteors?
I mean, that's
The same.
So you took
Con saving throw.
yeah, it's 10 plus the damage
10
or
or
10 plus half the damage you took. Or yeah, 10 or half the damage you took. So you have to make a 10, I guess.
con
13.
saving throw.
Of course not. Okay.
So
So I get up and I'm really mad.
yeah, so and your meteors
Wait,
fall
what
to
did
the
you get?
ground. A
Well,
3
they just kind of like
You can use your
Oh,
inspiration.
How I imagine.
oh, you can use your inspiration.
to make roll
Oh
again.
yeah.
Sure.
No.
Why not?
I'll keep
Do
it.
it again. Oh, that did.
Do you get a bonus to con?
It's a con saving throw.
Plus 2.
8.
Plus 8.
8, yeah, no, that's not enough.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm really mad. So I stagger to my feet and I will like push towards this other Alphage, and he has to make a strength save.
Okay. Against your spell save?
I get.
Remember, he's gargantuan.
I know, it's okay.
He makes a 23 strength save.
Okay, fine.
What were you trying to do?
Push it away from me.
You wouldn't want to make a barbarian wizard because you can't cast spells if you're raging.
I know, I was just joking.
Yeah.
I was joking.
Yeah, if he had failed, he would have been pushed straight line 10 feet away from me, and his speed would have been reduced.
Oh, well, describe it. Like, what does it look like when you fail? Like, I want to know what this ability looks like in my mind.
I mean, it's not your ability because I failed.
But I mean, like, what are you trying to, like, manipulate gravity?
I guess. I imagine, like, the movement is, like a physical, like,
Okay.
push.
So she's going, like,
And, like, it's, like,
You're in there.
maybe, like, the visual would be, like airbending almost.
Yeah.
And, like...
she's, like, you're, like, shoving away and, like,
Yeah.
kind of, like, stumbling backwards, and this thing is, like...
And, like, a trip over a rock.
Yeah, and, like, gravity, like, increases on it for a second, and so you see its head, like, dip, and then, like, it sort of, like, springs back, scuttles back a little bit, and then, like, scuttles back forward.
Yup.
Okay, so Lady Peregrine.
There's people within 5 feet, so I'm going to throw daggers at it.
Okay,
That one's gonna miss, so no sneak attack.
okay.
I'll sneak attack on the
That
first one
one's-
that
It's
hits.
the first one that hits
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So that one's gonna crit. So
Okay.
it's sneak
Ooh, nice.
attack
on a crit.
on a crit.
Crit.
10d6.
That is 17, which should.
That hits.
Oh, okay. That is 15,
Miss.
and that's another crit.
Okay.
So you got 4 d4s and 10 d6.
Do you need more d6s? Here's
I
5.
need one extra.
Okay.
Okay. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 42.
You
Okay.
missed 2.
Yeah, these two.
Plus that.
49.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
It screams, and it looks like those, like, all, like, a bunch of the daggers you hit sort of, like, so where Arvinder thunked into its head with his blade, some of the daggers look like they got lodged in there pretty good, and those will be the crits.
Nice.
So you see, like, 2 daggers are kind of, like, sticking out of its head.
It's like when an arrow splits an arrow.
Yeah. So Stool, it's your turn now.
When I took damage, did I still want to know about this waxy mushroom? Does that affect me taking damage? I don't know if it'll...
Not the kind of damage you've taken.
Okay. Not fire.
Did you take fire damage?
No.
Okay.
I just figured it was a mushroom that tasted like the candle. But that would be too easy.
Don't think I can hug it.
No, it's too big. 2 was the one that died already, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anybody want ice cream?
I want some ice cream, but I'll come get some in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll have ice cream
pull
too.
out a mushroom.
Okay.
26.
Okay. So you pull out a mushroom, and it's small and brown and has like green glowing gills underneath. It's just little. It looks like a button mushroom. You could eat it in one bite. It kind of smells like dank and undergrowth,
I'll take a bite.
like stuff that you like grew up in, sort of thing, like the compost that you like to eat.
I'll eat it.
Okay. Make a wisdom save. Okay, so you eat this mushroom, and your brain like stops for a second and is like, I want more mushrooms. And you reach back in the bag and pull 3 more out
Excuse me.
immediately. So in the same turn, so roll
Fine.
3 more D100s.
55.
Okay. When you pull that one out, let me tell you real quick. It looks like a blackberry, but it's the size of a fist.
Ooh, this is good.
55 is.
45.
45 is yellow and waxy looking.
And it smells like salt.
1 hundo.
Okay,
The ultimate mushroom boy.
you pull this out and like, so like first of all, you like the way I picture you reaching into this bag is like you are like reaching in and you're like rooting around and you like pull one out and you're like, ah, great. But when you go in to reach for this one, you like stick your whole arm in and you're like trying to find the bottom of the bag. You can't find it. It's almost like this bag is a bag of holding. And then finally you reach in and you pull something out that feels really good just like in your hand.
Lindsay, I got 100 on my mushroom roll.
And so you pull it out and like rather than like being like held in your hand, it comes out and it's like the perfect specimen, like the shape, the perfect specimen of a mushroom. It's beautiful. And it's like floating gently above your hand. It's glowing with like this rainbow gleam. And like the whole thing is like iridescent, like opal. And it's beautiful. And like you've never wanted to eat a mushroom so much in your entire life.
Especially since before I told me to eat a mushroom. The last mushroom.
No, but this one you feel like is like good shit.
I'll eat.
All 3 of them?
No, I'll just eat the one first.
Okay, so you eat the 100. And then roll a D100.
So I go to level 20?
No. Well, it depends. So roll a D100.
Oh, 10.
Really?
Yeah, it was gonna be a. I thought it was 0 first.
What'd you give me? What?
I want to give it to you.
It's the
Roll it again. You know what? It's okay. Since you pulled it out of the bag randomly, I want you to have this because I think I know what you'll do with it.
94.
Okay. So you eat this mushroom.
It's really good.
And it's amazing. You feel the best you've like ever felt in your entire life, and you think that for just one instant you might have the power to like bend reality to your will. So make a wish.
I wish all of my group is in my village.
Okay. So like you make this wish, everything like sort of like you feel like this massive surge of power.
Show them world peace.
You feel this like massive surge of power well up within you, and like so, and we'll like I think we'll like kind of zoom out for a second here because like you guys are in the middle of this big fight. Things are like kind of going wrong. I think like we'll zoom out and I'll even tell you guys. So the next turn that was gonna happen.
Bugs are coming.
Yeah, so the way the giant adiphagus thing works is that they like every time one enters initiative, if you don't kill it before its turn, like the next one's turn starts, they like summon extras. So like you guys killed the first one, but you didn't kill it before it summoned the next one, and so that next one would have summoned another one. And eventually they like build up and you can't beat them. So like we'll zoom out. You guys see like
But did the one come in before the other one's turn?
yeah, it's like a legendary action, so it like fits in wherever you like want it to. And it like they roll for initiative and then like slot into initiative wherever it's supposed to be. So like it went before Jonathan. And so yeah, so you guys see like another trail like coming this way, and then like one farther off that looks to be like kind of like turning around and like starting to crawl towards you guys. And you guys, it's just like this big flash of like white, and like all of the mushrooms sort of blow back for a second and then sort of like like something like just sucked you guys out of existence, and all of a sudden you guys are standing in the center of this like big empty space where like there's like a big clearing where like giant mushrooms are standing around, and then there's like mushroom people just like right around you guys, and they're all like, yeah, you guys are like all holding weapons. You've got like fire conjured. You've got fire conjured in your hands. You're like ready to fight, and you guys like just miraculously appear in this village, and like this wish wasn't misinterpreted at all. Like the intent of the wish is what was granted, not like the duck, because that mushroom is really good. And I had a feeling that you would do that. I didn't want to like take it away from you. I had a thing like, if you roll a 75 or higher is what grants the wish. Otherwise, you just believe the wish has been granted. Like no one can convince you otherwise.
We are in my village. No. There really
Exactly.
not.
It like gives you. It basically gives you dementia for like 10 minutes or something. But yeah. So you guys are in the middle of this mushroom village. And there's like a big bonfire burning in the middle, and Stool, actually, you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
What happened?
Can we breathe now?
Yeah, can we breathe now?
Yeah, actually, so the big clearing, there's no spores in the air anymore.
6.
You are frightened of the fire. You think it's melting your body. You're like convinced utterly that this fire will cause you to turn into a liquid if you like stand much closer to it. So you like back up as fast as you can.
Can I offer him guidance?
Sure.
You gotta do another D4.
What'd you get first? 6?
6.
D4 won't do it.
No.
No.
Plus 3.
It has to be. It has to be it's like a DC 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Stool kind of goes and hides back in the mushroom trees, but so all of these other mushrooms are around you guys.
Who are they?
You see some you recognize actually. I think you see Big Deuce, Sea Rapper, Hemi, Mira and Lax are kind of like two twins that are right around there. Candida and Morella. You think that some of them are missing, but like there's a good number of your family here. And you guys, I think the first thing you guys notice is that like all of them are significantly smaller than Stool.
So. Oh.
Yeah, I feel like you guys appear and like Lady Peregrine, you've got like a dagger poised. You're like knocked an arrow. I feel like you're like aiming at someone's head right now just because you guys have like appeared in the middle of a fight.
Still raging.
Yeah, you're raging.
And then I'm like, wait. And like, there's Stool, like backing up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put my daggers down because as soon as we showed up, Stool is like,
Bye.
He like starts back away immediately.
This is my home.
We're not in your group chat.
I can add you whenever.
That's true.
Yeah.
He did.
What's wrong, Stool? Who are these people?
Oh, also Bub is here.
This is my family.
Why'd you back away?
I am not a fan of fire.
There's no fire.
Right now.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's a bonfire in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys like appeared around the bonfire. Oh yeah, and so like I said, Bob is here because you said all of your group, and so wherever the hell he was wandering around to, he's
Just
in the
showed
village.
up also.
He's in the village now.
okay, good.
You can't drink your people though, right?
No, they don't have
No, I
blood.
have no blood.
And so yeah, so these
So
mushrooms
he's
are
just
kind of.
looking hungry and kind of annoyed.
He's like lazing by the fire.
Yeah, it's like, oh, where are you?
Hey.
It's like,
He's
was in
just
bed.
been sitting here. He made a better duck wish than we did.
So yeah,
It's a good stopping point.
it can be. Yeah. So I mean, it's up to you guys. I was kind of expecting you have to fight 3 or 4 more adiphages, but
This is
you.
a Thursday night.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
10. Yeah, that's okay. We can stop here and just call it. But you still have those 2 other mushrooms, just so you know.
A blackberry like.
Yeah, one looks like a blackberry with like a mushroom stem on it, so it's like an upside down blackberry. It's real squishy and like has like a bunch of little balls on it.
Yellow.
It looks like a blackberry, and then there's one that's like yellow and kind of waxy looking, like it's got like a tough shell on it that
I don't
smells
like
like
wax
salt.
right now.
And so yeah, that's what you ended up with.
Why are you starting the fire? Was that a mushroom effect?
Yeah, a waxy mushroom.
It looked and tasted like a candle.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the second mushroom because at that point I rolled the 100.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you did that now and not later.
Entering
Honestly.
an important combat.
Yeah, maybe.
What if I would have said world peace?
That would have been something that we would have had to talk about. I don't think I could have granted that immediately.
Subjugation of everybody by one thing.
Well-
Everything is peaceful. We are all drowned.
No one in the world can speak.
Nice.
I even have written into that thing that it can't misinterpret the wish. So like, it really isn't like the duck. Like if you roll a d100, you get high enough on the second roll, like you get what you wish for with no restrictions.
Oh.
I mean, plus if I roll twice, maybe.
Gaseous land
Yeah.
A little bit restricted. What if I wish Timberlake
time I
to be a
cast-
real girl?
Oh.
What would have happened,
What
Kimber?
would Kimber think about that?
I feel
You already
like,
are a real girl.
Who are you to decide my reality? No. No, I feel like she would have. I don't know. That's a good question.
These dice are all
Okay. Bye, Twitch.
Bye.
Ow! I bit my tongue really fucking
I thought you
hard.
burnt yourself on the light.
That really hurt.